Welcome in, welcome in. We're just getting started. Although we're really dark. Why are we so dark? Okay, well, the second I say that, we get brighter. Okay, well, who knows? So now I feel like we're too bright. Welcome in. Thank you for the likes. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. A little self-love Saturday. Welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing today? We're going to be doing reads today. We're just getting logged on here. We're doing 1555. We're going to do collective once we get rolling. I got your mom. Oh, geez. Welcome in. I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope we're doing a little self-love Saturday. I hope we're giving ourselves all the good. Because there is some wild energy around. There's some wild energy around. And if you are noticing people come back on their same bullshit, it's not just retrograde. It is happening right now. Like, wild. People who are stuck in their cycle, like their cycle within their cycle, they're having it rough right now. But the only way that you avoid getting sucked in it is your boundaries. Nope. Come correct. Or don't come at all. Welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing today? If you're in that room, please smash the screen. Please share the live. It helps us fight the talk void. Gets us back out on FYP. Mama Bear, how's it going? That's so funny. Mama Bear and then Coco Bear comes in right away. Welcome in, Miss Claudia. How's everybody doing today? Just ignore my hair. I just got out of the shower and it's still like half wet. So you can still see like all the wavy curls. So just ignore. I didn't want to be any later than I already was. How's everybody doing today? Welcome in, Chris. How's everybody doing? If you're new in my room, please feel free to say hi. We like to talk to people here. You can always ask collective questions. Just keep in mind, collective questions are questions that do not require me to feel into you to answer them. Maybe they're a spiritual topic or something you don't quite understand, and we can go through it. If you want to share a win, you can always share wins in my room. So feel free, if you got a little hooray you want to share, go ahead and pop it down in the comment section. We're doing reads today. We're going to do 1555 for reads. And that can be a general, that could be a question, that could be a topic. As long as it works in your energy, we can do it. It is not a problem. As soon as we get more people in here, we are going to pop off with collective. So please smash that screen. Please share the live. Because we're going to need more people in order to do collective. Sunset Fairy, welcome in. These are all new people. I don't think I've seen like any of these people. Welcome in, Miss Barbara. Welcome in, Emmanuel. Kristen, welcome in. This is wild. We got a whole new lot of people today. Welcome. Is everybody's Saturday going good though? Like on the real? Is everybody's Saturday going good? It's been some rocky energy. I've been having clients call me, telling me everything under the moon has come back to get them, so it's that type of energy. Woo. Aw, thanks for all the love, Mama Bear. Thanks for all the love. Yes, girl. Yes, it's that energy. Dude, like, it's been wild. Like, I have people's situationships coming back. I have people's ex-relationships coming back. I have people's family members on fuck shit. Like, it's just some wild stuff. And I'm gonna tell you what, they're just repeating their cycle, but you don't have to be privy to their cycle. Like, you don't. You can be like, go have your cycle over there. Go do your same bullshit you were doing last year, but do it in your own energy. And the divine feminines are being pushed right now to stand up and to speak their truth, to hold their boundaries. They're not being given any other option than to hold tight to boundaries right now. 1,000%. Not any other option. Welcome in, Miss Amber. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't want to have to go out and in. I hate going out and back in. Welcome in, guys. But yeah, so if you're experiencing that, like, you're not the only one. You are not the only one. It is okay. Sacral energies have been huge lately. So if your sacral area, your sexual energy has been very high, or your passionate drive, because that's also your passionate drive. If your passionate drive has also been super high, you've had like the oomph to go do something, and then like the strength and the will to follow through on it. It's okay. It's been happening for the last couple days now. That paired with all the higher heart and heart chakra push-pulls that have been flying through the collective, regardless if somebody's physically coming back or not, it doesn't matter. The intuitive people are feeling that pull. You're being asked to look deeper into yourself. The divine feminines are being asked to hold their boundaries and keep diving deep within self, especially when it comes to self-worth and self-love concepts. Huge right now. A lot of divine masculines that at least I am noticing are dealing with a mother wound and are dealing with a divine feminine wound, and also a putting up. That's a little bit of self-worth too, like a putting up with bullshit. Like they're breaking free from toxicity, toxic relationships, toxic cycles if they're growing. Now clearly these are subsections of the collective, and not everybody is doing this, because I think we all got somebody who's still on their bullshit coming back, but you know what I mean? It's all good. Alright, guys, I think we're going to pop off with collective. We'll just get started, you know? So please continue to tap that screen. Please continue to share the live. The list is open, and we're doing $15.55 for reads today. That's what it costs. Now we got Cash App and we got Venmo. The only thing I ask is that when you guys donate, you come back in and you let us know that you donated. That way I don't miss you. Now, you guys can always share wins in my comment section. Feel free to blow up the comments. That's perfectly fine. I read everything. I will talk to all of everybody. So feel free to utilize it. If you guys have collective questions, you can drop them down there too. Collective questions are questions that do not require me to feel into you specifically for the answer, but they might be a spiritual topic or something you don't understand, or something you've never heard of and you're asking questions about. Like, we do that all the time. So feel free to have fun doing all of that stuff. I'm going to pop off here with collective, and hopefully there's enough energy in the room to get her done. Hopefully there's enough going on here to get it done. Welcome in, welcome in. Jesus. No, we're not doing that. I just dropped that. I feel like I want to tell somebody that someone in this collective is transitioning out of toxicity into emotional balance. And I really feel like this is relationship, but I also feel like this is within self, because I have this 10 of Cups here and I have this negative Queen of Wands, which is my manipulation, my kind of fuck shit energy. It's somebody who is very nitpicky, somebody who spits words and kind of slices you down and doesn't really allow you to receive the foothold that you need to grow properly. They're always nitpicking you. They got something to say about everything you're doing, even if you're doing it for them. And I got this 8 of Wands here, and to me it's honestly feeling like forward movement, but it's feeling like away from. It's feeling like you moving away from, and I feel like there's a split in the collective. And when I'm saying a split, I really do mean, strength card out here, I really do mean I feel like there's a split in the fact that I feel like somebody is doing this for themselves. They're transitioning out of that self-construct, out of that inner manipulation voice, out of that fuck shit voice, out of that I'm not good enough voice within inside their own vessel, and they're moving to emotional balance. And this is why I got my victory card out here. This is why I got my 10 of Cups, and they're all talking about how you're fulfilling everything you need and you're starting to push on to something else. I got the Page of Wands, forward movement, and then we got the Strength card paired with my 9 of Coins. However, I'm going to tell you, that's one little baby part of the collective. Like, a lot of people were doing that balance card. Weren't we just saying you were getting balanced? Like, that's a part of the sub-collective, but there's a bigger part of the collective that's breaking free. There's a bigger part of the collective where that Queen of Wands energy is an outside energy. That Queen of Wands energy isn't you, but you've been privy to that kind of, I'm going to call it abuse, that kind of abuse that just gives no shits. And they're just out to make themselves feel better. This could be somebody with narcissistic tendencies. This could just be an unhealed person or an unhealed feminine energy. And keep in mind, masculine and feminines can all have feminine energy, but it's not good. And someone's starting to see it. I feel like you're starting to realize it, and you're just building up the strength. And that's what I want to say. That's why I feel like I had the strength card out here, because I feel like even though it was the last thing to come out, I really do feel like that's the last thing you need. Like, that's the way it's coming out. Like, that's the last thing you need in order to push forward. In order to push forward and break free from the illusion and the trick that this is all you're worth. Break free from the illusion and the trick that this is all you are worth. Does asking if I need to know anything cost? Yeah, because I would have to feel into you for that. So it'd be $15.55. It'd be $15.55. But it's okay. I don't mind answering questions. I'm gonna be honest. I came on here and I called it Self-Love Saturday, and I feel like for a large part of the collective, this is you showing yourself self-love. This is you showing yourself kindness. This is you cultivating your peace. Because in order to have this Fool on the bottom of the deck, in order for you to build the strength to do something new, to move quickly into victory, to follow your passions, to balance your cups out, to come with balance and emotion and just structure, you have to care about you. In order for you to choose different, you have to care about you. And I feel like somebody has been misunderstanding the self-love journey. Sometimes the self-love journey isn't all, I'm the best person I can be right now. No, it's accepting the fact that you're okay right now. It's accepting the fact that I am not 100%, but I still love me. And it's also accepting more from other people because you're worth more. And I feel like this is why we got this moon card out here. Weren't we just talking about you bringing things together? Weren't we just talking about things coming together and you starting to realize just how much you're worth? This is why this union card is coming out. And I was saying, as you're transitioning away from a negative Queen of Wands energy, I have this balanced Queen of Cups. Maybe you have someone in mind. We have completion out here. Maybe you have somebody in mind. You know what I mean? Maybe you're shut up. You're letting go of old things. You're letting go of old things, old places, old patterns, the moon card came out here, and I could have swore earlier I said illusions and delusions. The trickery of someone's bullshit. And I just feel like you're looking for that. This could be Emperor. I got Emperor energy on the top. I just feel like you're looking for that type of independence, that type of success. Stop. Releasing heartbreak and spinning your wheel again. Releasing heartbreak. We got the world and the wheel when I split the deck out here. This is your big no bullshit moment. Like, that's the way I want to say it for you. This is your big no shit moment for the collective. You're unstucking yourself. You are unstucking yourself. You are no longer trapped. Nothing is holding you back. Not once. And there's just this little bit of this background thought that I don't know I can do it. And I feel like that's why we got this strength card out here, is because they're telling you, shut up. They're telling you, shut that mouth. Shut that inner dialogue down, because you have everything you need. This love card out again. This is you loving you. This move is needed. This is a healing move. You've learned all you needed to learn in that space. You have broken the cycle that you've needed to break in that space. Now you need to break it physically. You need to move. You need to be on to bigger, better things, because you don't deserve that. And I just feel like this might be something that you thought was out of reach, was what I was going to say, because it landed upside down on top of love, and it's the dream card. Tell me why you still think you don't deserve the shit you dream about. Tell me why you think you don't deserve good shit in your life. Okay, this is not how this is supposed to be taken, but burn it down and run. Burn it down and run. Like, this is not, and I'm not talking about running away. I'm talking about running to freedom. Because she's holding, I gotta cover the katatas, but she's holding a horn. Like, she's calling out, but she's also answering the call. Like, she's calling out, but she's also answering the call. This is your breakthrough moment. This is something... hold on, I saw a card flipped upside down. This is your breakthrough moment. Like, I just want to tell people that, shut up. Shut up. This card was upside down. This is, it literally is the breakthrough card. Like, and anybody who's been in my room for the last 2 weeks, the Crow Collective, like, crows have been massive. They've been all over the place. 3s have been big as well. We have a 12, we have a 39 down here, and we have a 5. I just feel like you confuse the two. I feel like this part of the collective confused the two. You place the limit on you that spirit never put on you. 1. This is the end to your cycle. As I split the deck on the death card and a wands. It's all about forward, passionate movement now. And I feel like somebody's starting to see the bullshit for bullshit. The glasses are off. Everything has been uncovered. You've seen all you need to see. The strength is only there because you need to cultivate. You need to cultivate in order to put what you see into action. And that's what this breakthrough card is here. To me, it's screaming clarity. And I feel like it's divine clarity with this crow out here. I feel as though it's kind of something that they're like, about damn time. And I feel like I have that song playing in my head now. It's about damn time. Like, and I want to say, shut up, shut up. This is you and your fire. That my masculines and even my feminines, this is you and your fire. You're starting something new. The Fool card again popped out, and I feel as though you're not denying yourself truths. That's the way that I want to say it. You're not denying yourself truths. We got the Hangman out here. Weren't we just saying your breakthrough, your new perspectives on shit? You were seeing things differently. Like, shut up. The 8 of Wands out here. We were just saying you learned your lesson. We have the Hierophant. Literally the teacher. The one who learns the lesson and now go do better. Know better, do better. Like, this is wild. This is wild. And I feel as though I'm not even going to take this the way this is supposed to be taken. I feel like you're not walking on eggshells anymore. Like, that's the way that I want to say this card. And it's not even like... And I want to say because it's swords, it's almost mental eggshells. But you're not doing it anymore. You're not walking on mental eggshells. You're over it. And I feel like this is why we have this 5 of Wands here. Because I feel like you're carving out your path. That's the way that I want to say it. And I don't know why we're doing the snake thing today. But I feel like we're carving out our path. And when I'm saying the word carving, it really is pulling me back to the world snake. It's pulling me back to completion. It's pulling me back to cycles. Pulling me back to circles. Pulling me back to spirals. Shedding. Breaking through. Like, it is all of the things. I don't know how much more confirmation you need. 6 of Swords, moving towards healing waters, moving away from bullshit. If you wanted more crows with the dark deck up here, just telling you that you are divinely led and guided away. They're asking you, what are you doing? You're still sitting here in a little bit of indecision, and they're telling you, stop. Like, stop. You already know. You already know everything you need to know. Because this is not the first time this cycle's played out. This isn't the second time this cycle's played out. Fuck, man, this ain't even the 12th time this cycle's played out. This has been a year or more of the same cycle, and this is it. This is why this King of Swords is out here. This is why this comes out here. This is clarity. This is truth. You are armed, and you need to decide what to do with it. That's why you're coming out here. Like, you're no longer stuck in your head. You're no longer batting around, is this really real? Is this the truth? Is this... That's not the case at all. You're literally sitting here going, holy shit, the clarity's real. Holy shit, the intuition was on point. Holy shit, that's the truth. And I feel like I'm being pulled back to this card with the fact that there's this big sun disk behind him. And I'm to be real honest, I feel like that pairs to your strength, but I also want to pull it into masculine energy, but I also want to pull it into confidence. Because I feel like a large part of this collective didn't have confidence before, but they do now. Another 10 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Another 10 of Cups. That's a third, I think, time 10 of Cups has come out. Oh my God. You're doing it. I feel like I need to tell you you're doing it because you're starting to now realize that it's not one person versus somebody else. It's choosing you no matter what. And I feel like for the longest time, you were doing a battle. Well, I'm going to stay here because should I choose this person or this person? Should I do this or should I do this? Should I trust this person? And the entire time you've been giving yourself less. You've been denying yourself your truths. You've been denying all the things you've been feeling, your emotions, your this. And I feel like you're now becoming more grounded and with this clarity, but it's like a paired clarity. It's a grounded clarity. You're moving, and it's slow movement, but it's passionate movement, because there's still like one thing that is still kind of holding you back. And I feel like it's almost like you believe you don't deserve it, or you have a hard time wrapping your mind around that it could actually fucking happen. Like, I just feel like this collective is somewhere in the middle, like, of the bridge to action, just being like, I don't know, like, they're right in the center, like, I don't know, like, is this something I should do, or is this not? Like, it's just giving the wildest of energies. They're telling you to let go. I got my Untamed card out here. They're telling you to be wild, and I feel like Untamed is pulling me back to that lion. Like, they don't want you to cage yourself anymore. Like, you put a lion in the zoo, like, that twinkle out the eye goes away. And they're just kind of talking about how they don't want you to continue to box yourself in. They don't want you to continue to limit yourself. They want you to go with the flow. And we have the flow card out as a 32, which is also a 5, pressing you towards forward movement. And I feel like my community card, I don't feel like it's community outside of you just yet. I feel like it's communion within you, and that's a weird way of saying it. But I feel like it's the connection of mind, body, spirit that you have to have in order to go with the flow. I feel like it's this divine channel connection that is making you confident in your intuition enough to act on it. That's the way it feels, and that's why it's 17. That's why it's balanced, because you had to get out of your head and get into the game, and that's the way that I want to say it. That's the way that I want to say it. You have everything you need. You just have to stop believing it can't come true for you. You just have to stop believing that somebody else deserves it more, but it doesn't happen to you. If you play those old paradigms, you play those old stories, watch what story finds you. Like, watch what story finds you. There's something else here. There's something else here for this collective. There really is. Hold on. I thought we were done, but I just don't feel complete. I don't feel done. I don't feel done at all. Let's try this. Let's see what else there is, because there's just something really small. But I feel like it's a really small thing that might click for somebody, and I don't know what it is yet. We'll see. Let her go. Shut up. This whole playlist is on shuffle. There's like 60-something songs in it, and Let Her Go comes on as we're literally talking about releasing a relationship that's not worth your time. There's a softness here that you're not comfortable with yet, and that's the way that I want to say it. And I don't feel like it's a softness of anybody else but you. And I don't think it's anything anything that you're not unaware of. But there's some part of being vulnerable. There's some part of being that soft, even with yourself, that is terrifying. That is terrifying. And we all have to go through it at one point or another. But there's some part of this balancing your softness within you so that it can be heard. And that's part of your confidence, because I hate to tell you, your softness is part of your femininity, but it's also part of your intuition. Because your intuition comes in as like this little quiet voice. And if you overrun it, you miss it. And I just feel like somebody's kind of been blowing past theirs. Like just barreling past theirs. And I'm not necessarily sure why, but this is what's leading to your indecision. This is what's leading to the push-pull of energy, because your mind wants to do something and your heart wants to do another. Excuse me. And this is why we have the 4 out here, and this is why I feel like I need to split it in half and mirror it back to each other, because that's exactly the kind of energy you're giving yourself, is confusion. And like a room of mirrors, like one of those, like, I'm getting like the clown mirrors, like the house of mirrors, and it's kind of coming up that way, and you're judging yourself off of inaccurate reflections, is the way that they're saying it. You're judging yourself off of inaccurate reflections. And part of the balancing is eliminating the mirrors that aren't accurate to you. are eliminating the mirrors, taking down the masks, and there's just something about having to be tender and having to be vulnerable in order to do it accurately that a part of the collective is kind of stuck at. And there's I feel like where they're pairing it in with that strength, because in order to gain confidence, you have to take the risk to be vulnerable. Otherwise, you're just cocky. You're not confident. You're just cocky. And cocky is a mask. Cocky is a mask for insecurities. So they're just talking about how they really want you to step into your divine confidence and your divine stance, your divine structure, your divine joy, your divine happiness, in the way of that it's not a facade. But you have to get down the nitty gritty, and you have to tune into the tenderness, is what they're talking about. That's the only way to truly balance your cups. Welcome in, guys. Welcome. We are just getting started. List is open. We're doing reads for $15.55. So if you have a question or something you would like felt into, we can definitely do it. I'm gonna scroll back through here, and I saw my face and hands. That's what's up. Thank you so much. Have a good day at work, dude. But I'm going to scroll back through these comments. We have Cash App, we have Venmo. So go ahead and get on the list while it's still open. And we'll do all the things. The only thing I ask is that you just come back in and you let us know how you donated. That way I don't miss you. You know what I mean? Welcome in. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for the follow, Miss Kellyanne. What's up, Miss Rooted? Becky, thank you for the follow. Oh, I missed the heart. I'm so sorry. I hate missing the heart. I'm so sorry. I totally understand if the answer is no, but can I please get one general card pull, please? Yeah, so we're doing reads today, Miss Ronnie. So if you want me to pull on you, I totally can. And we do way more than one card because I don't read the cards. I do more intuition than reading cards, but I like to use them for confirmations. So I can do it. Everything's $15.55 today. So if you want me to pull on you, I can totally do it. Not a problem. Does Raul want to fix our relationship? So I can't feel into Raul's energy because you're not Raul. I can only feel into energy that I have permission to work in. So I can do like a love relationship read for you, and that's not a problem. I can do that perfectly fine, and we can see, you know what I mean, like if it's in your greatest highest good and that kind of stuff, but I can't feel into someone's free will who hasn't given me permission. Pondering the Paranormal, that sounds like a cool name. Thank you for the follow. Linda Parker, thank you for the follow. D. Willie, thank you for the follow. Oh my goodness. Felicia, thank you for the follow. Felicity, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Girl, I got your name wrong. Felicity, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're having a good day at work, dude. Go have fun. Layla, will I be seeing AJ today? I mean, we could do a read for it, but it costs the same as everything else, so I don't know if you want to do a read on that. But we could do like a love relationship kind of message. But I'm gonna be honest, sometimes when you try to look in the future, sometimes things get like construed because you're pulling on the now energy, and if AJ makes a decision that is different than he would have 5 seconds ago, everything changes because it's the domino effect. So sometimes looking forward doesn't really help us. Staying present usually helps us more. So, but I can do a love relationship. Everything's paid today. It's $15.55. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't do yes, no's. Yeah, I don't do it. I appreciate you asking, but I don't do yes, no's. Yeah. Welcome in, guys. How's everybody doing today? Miss Tanya, how's it going, dude? Living the dream? How you been, though? Like, how you really been, though? Like, are you doing all the things? Because I feel like I see you pop in here once every little bit, but you've been in and out because I know you've been busy. Nay, how's it going, dude? Are you having fun yet? How's the life? How's the job? How's it going, dude? Hey, that was a good day. List is open, guys. We're doing $15.55 for reads. So if you would like something felt into, that's what it costs. That's what it costs. We got Cash App. We got Venmo. If you guys have collective questions, you can always drop them down in the comment section below, and we will talk about them. Just keep in mind, collective questions do not require me to feel into you for the answer. They're just more general topics or something like that. Hectic work and school. Dude, I'm so happy that I'm not in school anymore. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I did not do an 8-year degree, because no, I would have been done. Working on moving out. Oh shoot. Dude, you just missed the collective that was all about movement. Like, fast forward movement in your greatest, highest good. Like, a ton of people are moving, like, physically moving, but, like, also, like, moving up and out spiritually. Like, I so wish. Hey, you know what? Like, it happens, Miss Nay. Dude, it's wild, but it happens. It 1,000% happens. It 1,000% happens. I hope everyone's doing good, though. I hope everyone's doing good. Oh. You guys got any questions while we're just waiting? I'll answer some questions. We might have to go out and in. We've been here for a little bit, but it's been like kind of toilet bowl, so we might have to go out and in. Maybe you just need a change of perspective, Nay. Maybe you need to change your perspective. You know, we gotta... A lot of people fight things, but it's because they've had to be a fighter. Like, their whole life. They've had to fight for what they wanted. They've had to do things the hard way, because then it feels like success if it's a struggle. You have to get to the bottom of why you believe that that's the way you have to do things. So sometimes it's not just accepting things. Sometimes it's literally the why behind, why do I fight? Like, if someone tells you that all you have to do is give me a high five to get a cookie, or you can do something else, you're going to be like, I'm not giving you a high five. How can I do this differently? And all of a sudden you create this huge thing where you're like jumping over 6 desks, you're distracting somebody to steal a cookie. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that hard. But you have to get to the point where you're like, why is it this hard? And sometimes it's because it brings us a little bit more success. Like, we feel accomplished when things are hard. So you have to also kind of look into why things would feel more accomplished. Like, you would feel more successful if things are difficult. But I'm going to be honest, like, a lot of times it's because you've always had to fight your whole life. And if something's easy, then it seems false. If something's too easy, it seems too good to be true. Like, if I told you I had to do one thing to get everything you wanted, would you do that one thing, or would you be like, that's bullshit? And then you would struggle bus until it comes back around again. And they're like, you could do one thing to get everything you want. And you're like, bullshit. Until, like, your way doesn't work. And then you're like, okay, so what was that one thing you want me to try? I call it being hard-headed, but it actually comes from a lifetime of, like, a lack of trust, one. But also that fight or flight being instilled in the fact that it has to be hard. Like, who told us that it has to be hard? Like, who? But I would start with that. Like, you gotta ask yourself, why are you fighting? And sometimes it's just a change of perspective. Like, if you know it's inevitable and you're gonna have to choose, You're gonna have to do something. You're gonna, regardless, you have to ask yourself why you're dragging it on. Do you like that part of your story that drags something on longer? You know what I mean? Because it's different for everybody. Some people don't like what they have to do, so they drag it on. Other people, depending on what the topic is, they might have to exhaust all options before they feel completely okay to make a decision. And that's fine, like, but there's going to be a point in time when you're going to change that, when you realize that if it's something you can't avoid, then why am I fighting it so hard? There's usually a fear behind it. There's usually something behind it. I feel like if I want something to end, it should end on my terms. So it's ego. And if it doesn't, I keep fighting for it. Yeah, so it's ego. It's ego. That's also like a core wound, though. Like, I'm gonna be honest. That's also a core wound because I don't know what topic we're talking about. If it's love, if it's a job, if it's whatever, a relationship, a friendship, but like that's the dissatisfaction within inside of you that you like. But no. See, you're taking ego as a negative. Your ego is your personality. Your ego is your masks. Your ego is that voice that tells you need to win in all aspects. That's your ego. Because that's not actually your authenticity. It's not. Your authenticity is acceptance. Your authenticity is flow state, going with the flow. Your ego tells you have to win every step of the way. That's your ego. Now, it doesn't mean that you're egotistical. It doesn't mean you're this larger-than-life, big-head ego person. No. Your ego is literally the character that you construct. That is you. That's your ego. You can't ever kill your ego, but you can run off of your ego versus your intuition or your balanced state of flow. So, but yeah. So, a lot of times, hold on. Now I just got sidetracked. Stand on my terms, yeah. So, a lot of times it's paired to a lot of different things depending on the topic, but it's usually rooted in something else. There's usually a push-pull energy of having to have the last word, so then it's like it's almost your choice, and then it's like someone has to prove you right or wrong, right? So if you say someone's going to leave and then you push them away, you go, see, I knew it. They left, but you pushed them away. Like, let's be honest, you pushed them away. You knew what it was gonna take to push their buttons, to yeet them as far off the board as possible. And then you allowed yourself, because your ego, to tell yourself, see, I saw that coming, I knew it was going to happen. No. I mean, you might have, yeah, but like, no. Chances are you were prepping it. And there's usually a fear of abandonment, which is usually a core wound for a lot of people that sits in their root chakra because it stems from safety and security, you know. Sometimes it's a trust wound. You know what I mean? I don't trust you, so therefore I'm going to look at every fault possible. But a lot of times it's a push-pull. Like, if you ever find yourself being super, super clingy, like, super, super clingy, and you're going to make everything work, and then one day you just decide, no, F this, and you drop everything. Like, those are core wounds. But it can come off as being like, I need to have the last word. You don't, but you're at that stage of your journey where it's like, I would rather be in control of the outcome. When in reality, you're the only one fucking you. Like, you're the only one playing the game. Because either way you play that game, you lose. Because you never really get people. You never get people close enough to actually be close. So, guarantee you probably feel alone in some way, shape, or form. And that you don't really have a whole lot of friends. You don't really have a lot of people around you who know you. But then you're doing like devil's advocate with yourself almost. You're doing like tit for tat in the fact that you don't really let them get close regardless. So it's like, I never have anyone that gets close to me. Don't get that close to me. I'm going to push you away. And then when you leave them, I tell you I knew it. Like, you almost manipulate in a way, and manipulate isn't always a bad thing. Like, when we transmute energy, technically we're manipulating energy, so don't think manipulate in a bad way. But you're using your energy and your reactions to elicit a certain reaction from whoever or whatever it is you're dealing with. And it's planned, it's purposeful, and it's skilled. But that's your coping. That's your defense mechanism. That's your mask. That's your ego. That's your safety, security. And that's because there's a part of that core, which would be your root, that isn't healed yet. And that's why you have that push-pull back and forth. That's why you want something, because your heart wants it. But your physical's like, don't come near me. I bet you want like 3 friends who get you that you could call up. Thank you for the follow. That you could call up and be like, man, I just had a day, blah, blah, blah. And you could like be so open with. But the idea of that scares the shit out of you. Like, the idea of that scares the shit out of you. And that's part of like, you lost. Oh my gosh, I lost your live and I spent so much time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But that's the truth. Like, and that's something you're going to have to come to terms with, because that sits in your root, and that's the base at which you've built your whole existence off of. That's your foundation, your root chakra, your safety, your security, your trust, your root. So if you have holes in that, anything you build upon it isn't going to be sound. It's not going to withstand anything. And if you go back and you start like thinking about, well, when did that first start? I bet you it's childhood, because most people build the foundations of self in their childhood years, right? But our childhood is also the number one part where we're not thinking for ourselves, right? We're having our family, our parents, our whatever, our friends are thinking for us, acting for us on our behalf. So then as you get older, you got to ask yourself, are those my foundations, or do I need to change up my foundations? You know? Jen, will Harry regret losing me? I can't feel into that, Jen, only because I can only feel into Harry if he asks me to. I can't pull on energy that I don't have permission to work. I can do like a love relationship for you. I can do like a, was leaving Harry in my greatest, highest good. I can do that. And stuff like that, as long as it's in your energy, but I can't do like, what is Harry feeling without his permission. So, list is open. We're doing 1555 for reads. So if you would like something pulled on, we can definitely do it. Like, that's not a problem at all. But does that make sense, Nay? Does that make sense, dude? I hope it does. I hope it does. And, like, we have private spaces, Nay. Like, if you want to deconstruct your root chakra and do shadow work to heal those things so that you don't have to move the same way, you know what I mean? The same way every time. Like, we can do that. Like, we have private spaces. Welcome in, Lindsay. Welcome in, Lindsay. Although I thought you were here already. Maybe welcome back. But, so we can do that if that's something you want help with. It's on the website. You can also find it in my link tree. I added the slider button because for some reason people were getting confused with how to find the website, even though it's linked in the link tree. So you can either click the link that says www.ChildOfBalance.com, and you can do private sessions that are like in a minimum of an hour. And we sit down and we start busting through your shadow work, and all that stuff, and integrating it with like questions and writing and spiritual aspects, and some soul retrieval, some shamanic stuff, some chakra healing, some like I interweave whatever your guides and my guides call for. But we do that depending on what you have going on. Or you can just go to the link tree and there's a little slider and you slide it over and it like lists out all the services. Because I was trying to make it as easy as possible for everybody. So you can do it there, and it'll load you directly to like the info page. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry. Let me scroll back. We can feel into it, Jenny. So reads are 15:55 today, and we can feel into it. You know what I mean? We can feel into like, is doing something, is living with your brother the best course of action for you? We can do that. Jamie, is R in love with me? I can't feel into that for you, Jamie, only because it's not in your energy. I can do a love relationship read for you with your permission, but I can't do an R, you know. Do you do readings here on live? Yeah, of course, yeah. So we have Cash App, we have Venmo. The list is open right now. It's 15:55 for reads, and you can ask a question, a specific question, as long as it works in your energy. We can do a topic like career, love, whatever, or you can just do a general. It's up to you. I let people choose, you know. I feel like since I'm a young adult, there's some things I need to change or work. Everybody does, and don't limit yourself to your age, dude, because your soul's way older than this vessel is. So don't limit yourself. But like, yeah, 1,000%, everybody does. Like, and I know because I've done it. Like, I have people who do it. Like, I'm helping my mother do it in the background. Like, obviously free because she's my mother. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what age. You know what I mean? Everybody can do it. I was told twice today that I have a spiritual blockage and spirits want me to talk. Wants to talk to me. Can we do that? Yeah. Yeah, we can. That's not a problem at all because it works in your energy. So yeah, we can. I'm going to be honest right off the bat. It feels like it sits in your gut and your throat. I'm going to be 1,000% honest. But we can definitely feel into it. That's not a problem. So we got Cash App and we have Venmo. Just, if you decide that that's something you want to do, it's 15:55. And then when you donate, just come back in. Let me know you're all good and I'll check spaces. And we'll run right into it. And then all of the lives are posted on YouTube. So should you want to re-listen to your read, it's time-stamped. And it's right there for you. Welcome in, Delaney. How's everybody doing today, dude? 6.6K with 6 people in the room. That's crazy. All those 6s. 3 6s. Victory. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. It's a little bit like a self-love Saturday, I feel like. I feel like people are just starting to kind of give back to themselves, pour into their own cups. You know what I mean? It's cold here, so I'm having a chill day. Yeah. I have a video that I have to post, but yeah, 1,000%, because it's like we went backwards to go forward in the fact that we were breaking out into spring, and then all of a sudden we got snow flurries here. But all my team keeps saying is backwards to go forward, and they keep linking it into like the repetition of cycles in the collective. You know what I mean? And they're just talking about how people are going back, and that's why people are coming back. It's to give you the test of your last cycle to be like, no, I want to do something different and move to spring, or relive your cycle again and go back to winter. And it's kind of wild the way they kind of paired everything together. You know what I mean? All right, Miss Ronnie. But yeah, so it's totally crazy, yeah. Oh yeah, and self-care is a lot of different ways. Like, we were talking about in the collective this morning, like when we first got on here, like self-love is also just holding your boundaries. It's also telling people no. It's also speaking your truth. Self-love doesn't always need to be taking a bath or meditating. You know what I mean? Autumn is coming. Actually, it is autumn. What? Okay. All right, so Ronnie. So your question is, let me just scroll back here. I was told twice today that I have a spiritual blockage. That was crazy. I don't know if that was a truck or if we are having like some random thunderstorm that was not on the radar. It has to be a truck or something. That was wild. Alright, Miss Ronnie. So the list is open, guys. We're doing 1555 for reads, and I'm going to pull on Miss Ronnie's question about your blockage. First of all, girl, damn. Because, and I mean this in the best way possible, your energy is not working for you, is it? And when I say your energy is not working for you, is that you feel... I want to say you feel a little slow, like in the way of like being a little bit weighted, and you want to do things because I feel like your pilot light is on. I feel like you have a spark, and I feel like you want to apply yourself, but it's almost like you don't know necessarily where to put the energy. Like there's almost like a lack of direction here, and I feel like you want to try things, and I feel like maybe some of the things that you've been trying haven't been yielding results in the way that you've been wanting them to, and that could be part of this blockage. Because it's kind of a combined thing. Like, I'm getting a big gut pull. Like, my gut feels a little bit churny. It feels a little bit uneasy, unbalanced. And I'm not getting sacral. I'm getting solar. I'm getting solar area. I'm not getting a sacral pull, even though sacral energies are super high right now. That's not where I'm getting pulled to you. I'm getting pulled to your gut, and I want to tell you you're ignoring your gut is the way that I want to say it. I really think that you're ignoring your gut. Like, there's some shit that you know you need to be doing, and you're just not wanting to do it or not willing to admit that that's a problem or something that needs addressed or awareness brought to it is the way that I want to say it, like in your personal life or in the things that you're currently or people you're currently dealing with. And then there's something that it like jumps the heart space for now. I'm not gonna lie and tell you that there's not something there, but that's not where they're pulling me at the moment. They're pulling me past the heart space into the throat. And I don't want to say dry throat because that's not necessarily what I'm feeling. It's kind of like the need to continue to swallow a lot. Like, I feel the need to continue to swallow a ton. And it just makes me feel like you're not using your throat chakra, and I feel like it's in the way of not speaking your truth all the time. So I don't know if you're somebody who bites your tongue a lot, but there's something with the throat here that's making me feel like there's a disconnect between what you say and what you feel in your gut. There's a large disconnect there. I don't know if you're like somebody who's extremely hard on themselves, because there's something about this gut churn to me that feels a little anxiety, but I feel like it's self-put pressure. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. So you might be somebody who puts a ton of pressure on yourself. And I feel as though you are doing some inner work. Like, I really do feel like you're trying to lighten your burdens. I really do feel like it's not like you're like out here completely oblivious to spirituality or not in tune in any way, because that's not really it. I don't get that vibe. But I do get the vibe that you're kind of, I don't want to call it fighting something, but I want to almost say that. Like, your energy feels like it's kind of fighting a lesson or fighting a concept. And you're just not fully releasing something that does not need to be in your energy. And it could be the expectation. Could be the expectation that something has to look or happen a certain way. But I'm also getting like a really big pull to that it's like other people. Like, I'm getting a really big pull that it's like outside people telling you or giving you their view of who you are, what you do, like almost like a sense of worth, or like just this like these sentences or these thoughts that you've adopted that have been talked in your ear or at you for such a long time that you haven't fully released it yet. And I'm just getting like you're moving through it. You're moving through bridging out of anxiety, worry, and like self-critical nature. Because I am getting a lot of swords energy as I look at the cards now. Like, I'm getting a lot of swords energy. And it really is just making me feel as though this is something you're working on. And it's not that you're fully oblivious to it. If you have, like, lower back, if you're having, like, I don't want to say kidney, but if you're having, like, I don't want to say tummy issues, but it's like a lower back kind of like, I want to almost stretch out my back. I want to almost like kind of twist or something, but it feels very low. It doesn't feel up in the chest area. It feels low. I want to tell you that's your solar. It's radiating out from your solar. You just have a lot of letting go to do because you're currently in the middle of your transformation. And when I'm saying your transformation, like you're currently in the middle of letting go. And it's also when you're the most vulnerable. My team always says that like when you look at the animals, because my team always draws back to nature, like, and stuff like that. So like when you look at the animals, when a snake or a lizard sheds their skin, they're the most vulnerable to predators. When butterflies coming out of a cocoon, they're the most vulnerable to predators. And this is kind of the energy here, and it's like there's some sort of your defense that you're not willing to put down. And I don't know if you don't trust all the way that you'll be safe if you let it down to do work, but there's just an imbalance here, and I feel like it's just the need to protect yourself more than you really have to. I want to tell you it's right in front of your face. I really do. I want to tell you that you're overthinking it, and I feel like that's where these that's where a lot of this burden's coming from. It's like you placing the mental burden on you that you need to get it right and you can't be wrong and you need to see this, you need to get past it. It's like you're almost putting so much pressure on yourself for doing it that it's like you're kind of missing actually doing the task, is the way that I want to say it. Like, you need to get real with yourself, like all the way down to the core of you. And that's going to require you to be vulnerable. That's going to require you to let down some stuff because you're still working in your defense and you're not being 1,000% honest. I want to tell you you're moving towards something new though. This is a new branch of your journey, and that's why it's a little bit like, yeah. Yeah. Do you feel, and I don't know if I'm going to look at the comments yet, do you feel that you are your most authentic you yet? And I mean this in an honest way. Not the answer you think I want, not the answer that you think makes you look good. Do you think you are the most authentic you yet? Because there's just something about a few masks that need to be pulled down, and I'm starting to get cold. A few masks that need to be pulled down and removed right now. There's that defense. There's that defense card. Like, and I really just want to tell you, I feel the need to tell you you're not missing anything. Like, I really do. I don't know who told you that your shit had to look like somebody, that you had to do shit a certain way or you weren't doing it right. Like, that's not the case. There's like almost this like, I feel like you're in the middle of falling apart to fall together. And I know that's so hard, but it's like you're continuously having to redirect yourself from being distracted. And that's the way that I want to say it. You're continuously having to redirect yourself to stay on course. And I'm going to be honest, healing isn't pretty, and you don't get peace peacefully. And that's the way that I want to say that to you. Healing isn't pretty, and you don't get peace peacefully. That's why your defenses are so high up right now, is literally because you know you can't get it peacefully, and you know shit's gonna pop off out the woodwork. And there's just part of this that it's like almost this misconception that I'm smiling and I'm on my healing journey and I'm doing all these things, and like it's almost like you're masking up to yourself, is the way that I want to say it. You're masking up to yourself about being honest with like how fucking hard this is, and how many things you really need to address. Because we all have a bunch of different things, and sometimes they're layered. You address one thing at one level, and then all of a sudden you might come back around to it, and you got to scoop out a little bit more, like an ice cream scoop. And there's just this part of they don't want you to give up on it. Oh God, excuse me, transmutation. They don't want you to give up on it. I feel like this is your falling apart to fall together. Literally falling apart to fall together. I want to yell at you, like, and just ask you what's holding you back, because I guarantee it's you. I guarantee it's you, because it's like it to me, dude. It seems like you're doing everything right, but it's almost like it's not enough for you. Like that's the way I want to say it. Like you're doing it right, but it's almost not happening quick enough. You're doing it right, but you just gotta dig. You gotta go just a little bit deeper, and you gotta be vulnerable, and that's scary as shit. Weren't we just talking about your gut earlier? You got the intuition card out here. You need to be raw, bro. Like you need to. It's okay to be angry. You can be pissed as shit. You can go to a rage room, rage it out. Like there's like you're almost like capping yourself, and I feel like that's part of the problem. Like I want to tell you you're a wounded healer in the way that like you need to come to terms with your shit, and you can't do it by downplaying it, and you can't do it by being nice, and you can't do it by like being like, oh yeah, that happened, but up next. Like you have to own it, and there's a part of you that doesn't allow yourself to own it fully, and this is part of this gut, this is part of this throat, and it's just like you don't need to blast your story to everybody, but you need to be comfortable hearing your story. So it's like go in a room and talk to yourself. Like, talk out loud to yourself, because there's this disconnect between the level of, oh my God, that your gut feels for some of your shit, and the way that your brain downplays it to you. Like, the way that your mind downplays it to you, there's a huge disconnect. And sometimes we have to override our conscious brain by giving it something to actually have to listen to. And you don't need to hear somebody else say it, you need to hear you say it. And I think you've been downplaying your shit for a while. I'm going to be honest. That, oh, it wasn't that big a deal. People have had it worse. Oh, it wasn't that this. And it just, it's, there's just like a lot of minimizing energy going on. Like, not only minimizing what has happened, but minimizing your worth. Minimizing, like, what you bring to the table. Minimizing, like, so much about you that you just haven't been given the true picture on. So I'm gonna be honest, they're calling you into stillness. They're calling you into almost like this sitting with self phase. And I'm gonna tell you, you need to release expectations, because you hold an expectation of what your healing's gonna look like based on what others have looked like, or what is gonna happen when you sit down. Like, when I sit down, my guides are gonna show up and they're gonna talk to me in my ear. No, like, you can't have any of that, because then if they go to show you a picture, you're gonna miss it. If they go to give you a knowing, you're gonna not listen to it. If they go, like, you have to almost go with zero expectations, and it's the easiest thing to say and the hardest thing to actually do, because it has to be practiced. But there's this part of retreating into self that they still want you to do, and they're just telling you gotta dig deeper. And I think for you, because of the way that your throat chakra isn't really working nicely with you. Like, I feel as though you're somebody who you've made your head your safe space. That's the way that I want to say it. It's like you've made your head your safe space. You've made your head your home, and you're not your thoughts. And I really need you to hear that. You're not your thoughts. They're not you. They are the byproduct of energy coming into contact with your auric field. They're not yours. So when we create a space in our mind that is our safe space, we're tricking ourselves. We're disillusioning ourselves. So it's one of those things, like we need to pull you out of your mind and into the present and into the physical and into the right now. And the easiest way to do that is to allow that energy out of your vessel. And one of the ways, especially because I don't know your level and I'm not working with you on like a one-on-one or anything like that, like one of the ways that like you can do that is by allowing that energy to leave through your voice. So not only is that going to give your subconscious, because I'm going to tell you, when you sit down and do this, your truth is powerful. It's on the bottom of the deck. They just yelled at me to look at it. When you sit down and do this, like, you need to be coming from a different space. Your space is not, what do I think? No. Because I'm going to tell you that's half your problem. You're trying to think through your feelings. And I need you to hear that. You're trying to think through your feelings. What? You need to feel your feelings. Your feelings need to be felt. And there's just this part of it where you're trying to pacify your feelings by thinking them. And it doesn't work like that. So this is how we're going to change it. So sit down with yourself and you're going to feel what to say. And it's going to be hard in the beginning, and the more you do it, the easier it'll get. You have to feel what you're going to say. So, ask yourself some shadow questions, And I feel like some shadow questions, and they can be shitty questions, and not a lot of people like this part of the exercise, but I do it all the time. I think it's very helpful. You know what I mean? Like, why do I feel this? Why, and you can even kind of bully yourself for a second, but it's so that your subconscious can speak up. But you got to grab onto what it says and you can't downplay it. You know what I mean? Like, why am I worthless? Oh, well, because, this, and then you got to grab on it, and then you got to, then you got to expand upon it. But they want you to really start getting this energy out through your mouth, through your throat chakra, because they want you to start speaking what your subconscious is feeling in order for your conscious to hear it. And that's how they specifically for you want you to bridge the gap. They want you to spit it out your mouth so that you have to listen to you speak. But the only way it's going to be effective is if you're talking from your subconscious. So start with something really simple and allow it to build and just keep going deeper. And if you feel the need to cry, I'm going to tell you just to do it, because that's what you need. You need to feel your emotions. But for you, we have to discard, we have to unguard, we have to, relinquish the swords and the weapons of defense that your brain holds, that your conscious holds over your entire vessel. Like, over your entire vessel. Because there's just a part to you that, you don't let your guard down that well. And when you do, it's a ruse. And I don't mean this offensively. Like, it's a ruse. Like, I'm going to let down 2 shields so you feel comfortable. So you can see that I want to let down some shields. But I have 20 that you don't know about. Like, it's kind of that energy. But the problem is, you've had stuff so long that you forgot what it was. That you literally forgot what was there. And you forgot you even built a shield. You forgot you even put up a wall. You forgot there was even another door to another layer to another maze. And the problem is, because you forgot it, because your conscience was like, you don't need to know this. This is a safeguard. Bloop. Right? Now we need to undo some of those things. And we need to bring them back into your conscious awareness. So if you find it very hard to sit down with yourself in a room with nobody else, just you, and feel your feelings, it's there to show you how disconnected you are from your emotions, your energy in motion, the things that are stirred up in you. Of course the staff falls out. That's wild. I feel the need to tell you that this was a defense mechanism for you, yes, but this was taught to you. And I don't mean someone sat down and was like, okay, we're gonna build a wall, Ronnie. No. I just mean that, like, you watched it growing up. You watched it in other people. You watched other people interact. And this was not only part of your safety security because you didn't always have it and you had to become your own safety security, but it's also because you watch this as the norm. This is your norm, but this also means when you break this in you break it in your lineage. And I feel the need to tell you that because now I'm getting goosebumps again. Your guides are really pushing it towards the fact of this is what's going to propel you forward, because they're talking about something about that you like to be the curse breaker. You like to assist. They're using the word timeline. They're using the word timeline, but like I want to stick more generationally. I want to stick more lineage because it feels that way. But they did say timeline. Like, you are somebody who wants to assist in that way, and you're not afraid to be like, oh no, like I want to do something different. I want to stop this. But this is where you find yourself. Like, they're calling this your crossroads, your precipice. You're right in the center of doing it, and to do it, you got to pick a way and like that. And like, I know it sounds really weird, but they want you to know that it's part of your ancestral, like, curse breaking. It's part of helping your lineage and your bloodline so that it doesn't have to be carried on to the next person. Like, there's something about that is going to light your fire, because I have this King of Wands energy out here, but I'm not necessarily being pulled to pull it towards a masculine and the negative King of Wands. I almost am being pulled to kind of pull it as you harnessing your inner badass. Like, that's the way that I want to, like, say, like, with this lion. I don't know if... Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm pointing at the wrong side. That's why. Like, with the lion over here, like, this is your inner badass. Like, this is your strength that you're now projecting out into the world. This is how you're connected. Like, his crown is, like, fully illuminated, up here. And this is a devised connection. And they're just kind of talking about how that little inkling of something, the way they're saying it is how it's going to make you want to wield your magic. It's going to make you want to do this because you want to do that. I know it's kind of weird, and it may be slightly spiritual coercion or manipulation, but that is the way that they're saying it. They want you to know that when you break this, it's not just for you. And they're saying it in that way. It's not just for you. It's for everything that comes after you. And the things that have come before you. And I'm getting cold chills again. And the things that have come before you. So, Miss Ronnie, do you have any questions that you would want, like, clarification on? Or anything that we talked about? I'm going to scroll back through and read all your comments now. So if you do, just go ahead and drop them down in the comment section. Hi, Leah. Okay, I'll check in a minute. I'm sorry. I'll check in a minute. Hey, Miss Lori. So far, this is accurate. Maybe almost, but not quite there yet. Yeah. Thank you for the follow. Hi, does Andrew think of me a lot? I don't know. I can't feel into Andrew without his energetic permission. So I won't be able to answer that question for you. That's all true. Thank you so much for the follow. I don't do yes nos. I don't do free reads on live because we go too much. I don't stop until they're like yes, and sometimes that's 15 minutes, sometimes that's 40 minutes, and so I don't do the yes nos. Thank you so much for the follow. So does that make sense, Miss Ronnie? Thank you for showing some love. Do you have any clarification questions or anything that you would want, need clarification or said a different way, or welcome in. Hey, Miss Sherry. Aw, thanks for the heart. I love the hearts because they come up on the replays too. I just want to make sure that you're all good, Miss Ronnie, before we go anywhere else. Because if there's anything you need clarification on, I want to give it to you. And if you're good, just give me like a thumbs up or like a smiley face or something. Welcome in, guys. While I'm waiting for a response from you, Miss Ronnie, I'm going to go check spaces. I will be right back, guys. Do not go anywhere. Miss Ronnie, are you still here? I just want to make sure that that works for you, but maybe you're gone already. Okay. Well, thank you, Miss Ronnie, for sharing your time, your energy, and your space today. You've commented. Oh, it must have blocked it then. It must have blocked it because I don't have anything. The last comment I have is... That's true also, LOL. That's the last one I have. I'm sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not showing up. The last one I have is that's true. That's true also, LOL, is the only comment that I have. So maybe try a different like wording, or maybe send it in a different grouping. Maybe send like 3 comments to instead of one long one. Because I don't even have like the... Usually I get like some comments were blocked for whatever. I don't even have that notification. Foster. I got foster. And help kids. Foster and help kids. Is that something... Are you asking me like if that's something you should do? Or are you asking me like or are you just saying that that's what you do? So for everybody else in the room, I have Leah. I think that's how you pronounce your name. And I have Lori on my list. Are you... I just don't know what you're asking. I don't know what you're asking, Miss Ronnie. It says foster and help kids. That's all I can see. Are you asking, like, should you do that? Or are you just making a statement like, I foster and help kids? I really want to answer your question, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it has to be. I'm sorry. I don't have any like notifications over here that are telling me that it's filtering. But if you're sending a bunch of stuff, I don't know. I won't be able to answer it if I can't read it. So I'm sorry, Miss Ronnie. But I hope that that helped, and I hope your read helped a little bit. So thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your space today. Thank you for allowing me to talk to your team. It is much appreciated. It is much, much appreciated. I have Miss Leah. You sent him. Where'd you send it? Oh, I can't go out. I can't go out into talk, and it'll shut off the live if I go back out into talk. So I won't be able to read it till later. But I'll read it, but I won't be able to read it till later. Otherwise, it'll kick me off live. And I don't have any email come through yet, so. Miss Leah, I have Miss Leah and Miss Lori on the list. Oh, no worries, Ronnie. Thank you. Thank you for buying a read. Thank you for your time and your space, dude. I just hope that helps. Miss Leah, do you have a question or a topic that you would like your read? Oh, thank you so much, Miss Ronnie. Thank you. Do you have anything that you would like? Thanks for the gifts, Leo. Do you have anything that you would like pulled on, like a topic or a question or something like that? List is open, guys. We are doing 1555. I am doing Miss Leah right now, and then I have Miss Lori on the list. Yes, about what is to be going forward with Daniel and I. Okay. My goal is to adopt a couple kids in the near future and help many more kids. Oh, that's so great. Ronnie, well, I hope that works out for you, dude, because I'm sure the world could use more of that. It's going forward with me and Daniel. We might have to reword that, Miss Leah. Excuse me, transmutating. Yes, what's going... Miss Leah, can we take a couple deep breaths? I don't know if your head has been, overloaded or, like, swirly a little bit, or, if it's just the confusion of maybe the unknown sitting on the crown space. But if we could just take like 3 deep breaths, because you got some holy hella crown pressure. We might have to reword your question. Let me run it past the teams. What is going forward with Daniel and I? I can't feel into Daniel's energy, but I can feel into your energy in relation to your relationship with Daniel. Does that make sense? So just let me know if that's something you want me to do, because I do have to reword it, because I can't tell you what Daniel's going to do, but I can tell you, like, based on your energy in the present moment, your team and my team is okay with doing like a what do you need to know in regards to your relationship with Daniel. So I can do that. Is that something that you would like? Okay. I just want to make sure, because if not, then I would just refund you, because it's not your fault, you know? Alrighty. Alrighty. I'm gonna be honest, it's not giving the best vibes, and the way that I'm, like, listening to your team talk, it almost makes me feel as though, more of a stepping stone rather than a landing pad is the way that I want to say it, because I do have a lot of moving forward and kind of having to come to terms with, a lot from your side of things. And I don't know how to say this, but I almost want to call you the more mature in the relationship. I almost want to call you, the more balanced of the two, and it's almost like kind of like you would be, this is going to sound so bad, but this is kind of the way they're saying it, like you're going to be almost lowering your station in a way, is the way they're saying it, and that sounds so awful. But it's like you would almost be kind of settling. And it's just giving a lot of moving on in a different direction kind of vibes. Trusting your instincts. And kind of admitting a little bit of a shift. And I feel the need to say that this is not what you wanted to hear. Like, I really do, but I feel like there's something better on the horizon is the way that I want to say it. Like, this is like temporary bad news. Like, that's the way that they're making me feel, like temporary bad news, unexpected changes, temporary shifts. Because there's something about, we got the death card out here, and it just makes me feel like you're undervaluing yourself. And as I say, you're undervaluing yourself, we have your sacred energy in reverse. I just feel like this relationship is undervaluing you, whatever this is, whoever he is to you, whether it's romantic or friendship, it doesn't matter. There's just something here that they're calling the end to a space. I have the death card out here. That's my end to something, to start something new. I do have a little bit of like suffering through loss. I have a little bit of like an accomplishment you having to come to terms with. It's your decision making to let it go, and you're in an unbalanced state right now, you know, but we're moving to balance, but you're going to have to kind of release to get, and there's something here about kind of revealing something better, because I feel like this is more like a blessing is the redirection, like redirection is a blessing, because I feel like you're kind of dodging a bullet, and I feel like you don't necessarily feel that way because you feel a little bit left, you feel a little bit left out, you feel a little bit kind of in the midst of adversity, a little bit of that like suffering. But I'm going to be real honest, I'm not getting a huge heart tug. I'm not getting a huge burden on the heart chakra. I'm not getting a huge weight on the chest. I'm getting a lot of mental struggle. I'm getting a lot of back and forth of the mind. I'm getting a lot of confusion energy, more than like someone just knifed me to the heart energy. Now, there's something here with this card that is really making me, and I don't know if you can see it, like there's just something here that's really making me feel as though they're giving you something else. Like, they're handing you something else that you could be spending time on. I do have my my foundations card out here, and it's out here as a bridge right after the seeing the clarity and the truth. And they're saying the truth more than clarity, but clearly seeing things for what they are, and somehow that's helping your foundations come out in a better way. And it's almost like re-stabilizing yourself in the physical is the way that I want to say it. Do you have like a secondary question? And the reason I'm saying it is because I feel like they just kind of stopped, and they're making me feel like you have a secondary question. Do you have a... What about the baby? Oh, okay. Okay, well, we'll ask your secondary question. They're kind of saying something that's not really the funnest thing to have to hear. They're kind of saying it's going to work out fine, like it's going to work out fine, but you're not going to like it. And that's the way they're saying it. It's going to work out fine, but you're not going to like it. And the reason that they're saying this, and they said this on the first card, they said it's going to work out fine, and we got the 6 of coins out. Sixes are always my victory. It's my great. But then it's like Tower, and then it's like movement and kind of having to like move in silence. There's my stress card. You know, there's an emperor out here paired with like an untrapping yourself card of the devil, of seeing a different perspective of my swords being that battle of the minds again. I have like so much work and nothing realized after it, and it makes me feel as though that kind of makes sense to what they're saying. They're like, it's gonna be fine, but you're not gonna like it. And I feel like the part of you're not gonna like it is the Tower. I feel like the part of you're not gonna want it, you're not gonna be okay with it is part of the Tower. Because I do have a lot of inner turmoil. I do have a lot of emotional stress. And I got the conflict card in the bottom of the deck as we're chit-chatting about it. Yeah. You're not initially going to be happy, but you're going to be okay with it in the end. That's what they're saying, but initially you're not going to be happy at all. Like, at all. I have the Sun in reverse out here, which is usually my joy, my success card, you know. Like, there's just kind of I just feel like you guys are on two different wavelengths. That's the way this feels. It feels like he's focusing on other things. That's the way it comes out. Like, he's focusing on other things and you're focusing on something completely different. Like, I'm gonna be a whole honest, like, that's the way it comes out in the cards here. Like, because I have him as being this, like, this 8 of coins in reverse, almost like working yourself to death, kind of like, but it's striking me as, like, going through the motions, and it's not striking me as that fiery, passionate, like, built-in fire forged, like, and then I have this, like, emperor out here who's all about structure. But to me, with the coins, it's pulling back to monetary stability. And then when we start talking about these King of Pentacles, and it's like out here, him being more that business, that like wealthily abundant kind of, and it's just making me feel like he's focusing on that when you're trying to balance other things. Like, that's the way it's coming out here. And it just makes me feel as though you're worrying and you're focusing on something that he's not even, like, I don't want to say he doesn't care about, because that's not it. But it's just like his priorities are slightly different. Yeah. Like, seriously. There's so many emperors out on this table. And I'm going to be honest, there's something about the fact that he's in this type of a mode that almost is stopping your mode. Like, it's almost slowing your mode down. And because they have you out here as like an imbalanced empress, they have you out here as like not creating your like greatest life, and kind of feeling kind of left out, a little bit lonely, a little bit tossed to the side, you know. And I don't know if he's great with emotions. I don't know if he's a guy who's in touch with his emotions. And the only reason I say that is because his King of Cups is kind of coming out here as a bridge, and it makes me feel as though he's not always the best at it, like, at all. I'm gonna be honest. God, you got so much air energy, bro. You are so up in your head, like, and it's not a bad thing, but you've been thinking about it for a while, like. You have to speak your truth. That's all they want you. Like, you have to do what's gonna make you okay. You have to speak your truth. You have a ton of movement card, and it's like coming out of like moving on, like an end to something to begin something different. It's not I'm getting more as like rocky waves, unsettled things, and a lot of sixes are coming after your healing, after your know better, do better, after the bridge out of a space. And don't get me wrong, like moving doesn't always mean physically moving. It could just be spiritually developing, spiritually moving, emotionally developing, but like there's just something else here that's making me feel like it's that you guys aren't on the same page. Like you guys are on a different wavelength. Like you may be in the same book, maybe, but you're definitely not reading from the same page. Do you want anything clarified? Because whoop, oh man, I dropped a card. Do you want anything clarified? Because I just feel like this is the tip of the iceberg on this topic. I don't feel like this is by any means like all that there is on this topic. But if you want something specific, like really specific, and if I can do it, I would love to do it for you. But there's like a part here of your energy that's like not getting, like almost like playing small, not getting what you're deserved, not getting what you're owed, and not getting, like almost like playing small, not getting what you're deserved, not getting what you're owed, and people. But there's like not good news. There's like a little bit of like struggle in the physical, a little bit of confrontation, a little bit of conflict. You know what I mean? Okay, let me see. Because he's a worker, but all works, but all, what? What about the baby? Because he is a workaholic, but all works out with Daniel. That's him. He's trying very hard to be successful. He is and he is not. Sometimes I feel like I feel what he is feeling. Sometimes you feel like do you have anything that you want clarified? Do you have anything you want clarified? I'm gonna pull on the do you feel what he's feeling? I'll pull on it because it's you, it's your energy. But do you want anything clarified? Because I feel like this read didn't tell you anything that you didn't already know. And I feel like that's what they're getting back to. Like, this is just you trusting your gut. This is you trusting your instincts, trusting yourself. They're kind of saying sometimes, not always. They're saying sometimes, not always. And the reason they're saying that is because they're alluding to the fact that it sometimes, yeah, you can pick up on what he's feeling, but they're kind of almost making me feel as though but it resonates because it's a feeling you have as well. Like, they're keep highlighting the fact, like, when they're showing me the images in my mind's eye, like, they're just highlighting the fact that, like, that comes over, that hits your auric field, your energy field, your Taurus field, whatever, that hits and it resonates, and that's why it stops you in your tracks the way it does. And they want you to do the opposite. They want you to stop focusing on Daniel and start focusing on you. Like, that's what they want you to do, because the fact that it resonates for you is a problem for you. Like, that's what they're saying. And they're not saying it's because it resonates because at one point in time. No, they're saying it resonates because right now there's a seed of the same feeling inside of you. You know what I mean? Hold on. Yeah, there's gonna be some turbulence when it comes to the business. There's gonna be some definite turbulence, and only because like they have you out here as being business minded. They have you out here as being, what's the word I want to use? Prosperously grounded. Maybe that's the way I want to say it. Like with the potential to get it done, but what's going to end up heading your way is something that's going to challenge what you guys are doing. And I feel like it's going to cause you to withdraw a little bit. And there's going to be some mix up, some like conflict, some head to head, some like in the business space that it's almost going to be unavoidable. Like it's coming out here on the table as a tower. Like it's going to be unavoidable. It could be like a loss in a sense when we start talking about it in a physical context. It can be a loss because it is paired with a bunch of pentacles. But I'm going to be real honest. On the backside is you balancing it all out for yourself. But they are talking about how the balancing act is going to be extremely hard in the fact that it's going to be something that you have to do. It's going to feel as though it's like a burden that you have to take care of. It's going to feel as though like you're going to be almost kind of weighed down by it, and the fact where it might be very difficult to then problem solve and reach a balance. But they're kind of talking about when you do, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Like you have a brand new beginning out here, not only financial, but depending on how this tower comes in, it could be an entirely new grounded beginning. Like it could be a new business. It could be a whatever. But at the very least, it is coming in physical here with a lot of pentacles. But to me, it makes me feel almost like a renewal. I'm not getting like a complete and utter loss. Like that's not what it feels like in the energy at the moment with the present energy. It feels almost like a renewing, like a facelift kind of a thing. But I don't think it was something that is going to be planned. I think it's almost going to be like a forcing of the hand. Like something happens, therefore we have to shift, kind of a thing. To be completely honest. Business, because you asked about your business. You asked about your business. No, they were talking about your business in that one. Yeah, no, they were talking about your business. You guys already have some conflict. That came out in the very beginning. You guys already have some rocky waters, some not seeing eye to eye, some different kinds of perspectives on a lot of things. Okay, Miss Toni, I'll check as soon as we're done with this. You meant conflict between us. Ooh. No, we're not taking cards like that. I'm going to be honest, they're not going to answer it for you. Because I'm shuffling again. I'm shuffling it again with more of a direction on like what should you do kind of a thing as far as the relationship goes as a whole. They're not answering it for you. We have, and I'll show you the cards out here. Well, maybe if I hold them up one by one. So, let me see if I can read it. We have the Two of Wands out here, which is literally in your decision. Like, it's like the world's in the palm of your hands. Like, this is your choice. This is your crossroads. This is your reasoning to make. And then we have the conflict card out here. When we're talking about your relationship, we have the conflict out here. But keep in mind, it could also be, doesn't always have to be you guys are physically arguing. It could just be that not seeing eye to eye, and then you remaining quiet, like they were talking about before, and just smiling through it is causing more turmoil for you on the inside. So then you're having like internal conflict because of external things. And then it's like the foresight card, so it's like where you're headed, where you're going. And then we have rushing towards opportunities paired with the Fool card. So it wholeheartedly depends on what you choose, because this rushing towards opportunities was out as a bridge. Like, so to me, they're not answering the question of a should you or shouldn't you for you. They're just telling you what it is, and the choice is yours, and that's why they're telling you to trust your gut on what you should do. You know? I feel bad, but your team's not giving you a yay or nay because it has to be a you decision. No. There's nothing that you don't already know. There's nothing that you don't already know. The queen. The queen comes out, and then literally they're like, didn't we just tell you it's your choice? Here's the quarrel. So, like, yeah, no, it's nothing you don't already know. It's having the strength, the courage, and trusting yourself to make a decision and stand behind it. That's where a lot of the confusion is with your decision making, you know? So you're gonna have to decide what you can live with, because they're telling you, you know what I mean? Like, this is what it is. This is what the cards are coming out like. You guys aren't on the same wavelength. You feel like this. You need to trust your instinct. So you got to ask yourself, what's my instinct? Make the step and say, let's move in together. I don't know if your team will answer it, but I'll grab the yes/no deck. I don't know if they'll answer it, though. Because I feel like the whole exercise is for you to trust yourself, not rely on them. Maybe. Maybe. I got the Lovers out here, but I also have the Emperor in reverse. I have the Four of Wands, which is usually happy family. It's usually stability. It's usually celebration. Sometimes it's the coming together, but it's also the Four Corners. Then they have you out here as being independent. They have you out here as being an independent woman, but they're telling you need to let go of some things before you move forward. And this is part of this spinning of the wheel, because I have this returning to roots in order to establish a future kind of a card. So that's what they're kind of pulling you towards. So they're telling you it's up to you, but they want you to be honest with yourself. Is this what you want? You know what I mean? Is this really what you want, or are we doing this to cope and to try to fix something? You know what I mean? Returning to roots is returning to self, you know, before basically your authenticity, before people told you who to be, you know, it's going back into self. But it could also be in the physical context, you know, they're taking it inner with you, but in the physical context, it can also be going back home. You know what I mean? Yeah, it can also be going back home. Yeah, to a simple life. Exactly. Because we overcomplicate things. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps, Miss Leah. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into that relationship and what, you know, might be on the outlook for business and everything else. Hey, your team, not me, your team. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's exactly the thing. You just got to ask yourself, and that's what... I mean, you had a lot of movement cards. You had a lot of going back cards, you know. So, I don't know. You got to think about it, though. But it's your decision to make, and the amount of maybes and the amount of back and forth that your guides have thrown out, it's clear they're not going to make that decision for you. But they want you to trust your instincts and choose what's best for you. That's what they're talking about. We talk about it. Oh, there you go. So there you go. That at least will give you a little bit of clarity. as to what's going on. So I hope that helps Miss Leah, and I hope that you got some kind of at least clarity. I don't feel like this was big revelations like you didn't know. And I feel like that's part of the exercise for them, is they're trying to get you to trust yourself. Like, they're trying to get you to trust yourself. They're not trying to overwhelm you with some shit you don't already know. Like, I feel like your exercise is for you to trust what you pick up on, to trust what you get, to trust what you feel you should do. And I feel like that's why they're intentionally being, like, coy and, like, vague and not giving you answers, is because they want you to push past the needing for outside, like, I don't want to call it reassurance, but, like, decision-making skills, you know? I'm going to check spaces, guys. I will be right back. Right now, I think I have Miss Lori on the list, and I think I have Miss Toni. Alrighty, I got Miss Lori and Miss Toni on the list. Miss Lori, are you still here? Thank you so much for waiting. No worries, Miss Leah. I'm glad that helped you in some way, shape, or form. Whatever my team has to say. Alrighty. I'm gonna just cling some bells. I don't know why. So, loud sound warning if you're wearing earphones. I'm gonna cling some bells real fast. Alright, whatever your team has to say, Miss Lori, thank you so much for the gifts. Whatever your team has to say. Two things. One, are you on the precipice of change in a big way in your life? Like, not putting up with bullshit anymore, not settling for less than your worth, first of all. And two, do you have a masculine energy who would be kind of like a father figure? I'm not saying he's your father. I'm just saying who would have acted as a fatherly authority, or was it just at least older than you, who would have since passed. Kind of a rounder face, and I don't know why I want to say a bigger nose, but I don't necessarily see him. But I don't mean big as, like, maybe not out from the face, but wider, because there is some sort of like masculine energy who I feel like is just chilling in the corner, and if it's not yours, then we're just gonna move past it. I don't know why I want to say diabetes, and I don't know why, but I want to say the word diabetes. So, yeah. Okay, if it's not yours, then we'll just move right past it. He's not very tall. He just keeps asserting himself. He's not very tall. Like, he's got like a red shirt on, like just a normal t-shirt with the collar, scoop neck. He's like a little chubby, but he's not like real big or anything like that. He's a little shorter, maybe like 5'6". I want to say 5'6". I have an older guy who I like, but he's alive. No, this one's dead. So if it's not yours, we're just gonna move right past it. No worries. We're in an open venue, in an open room. It could be somebody else. Oh my god. Okay. Jesus. Weren't we I could have swore we were just talking about you on the precipice of change. Literally on the precipice of change. They literally have you out wielding your fire, dude. Like, wielding your holy hell of fire. The Queen of Wands and the Six of Wands, like Six of Swords energy, all about your forward movement, all about your traveling through your healing waters, paired with two aces here, an Ace of Wands and an Ace of Swords. Like, sorry, someone tried to join. Pulling up with your Ace of Swords. And it's just almost like taking no bullshit. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. It's literally like taking no bullshit. It's taking no bullshit. I got your Chariot out here. But I feel like you're coming in hot. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. You're coming in hot. You're coming in swinging. If you were in your receiving era, this is going to be good for you. If you're in your receiving era right now, this is going to be really good for you. You're finally starting to understand your power. When I'm saying understand your power, I really do mean it for the first time ever. Like, you had an inkling maybe that you were powerful, or you knew you were like a force to be reckoned with, but now it's almost as though you're not allowing anything to stop you, and you're willing to defend what you think, what you feel, and what you say now without hesitation. And there's almost just like this part of you that's almost being set free, and I feel as though you're been seeing things clearly. And I mean visibly clearly in your space and in your place, but I also mean like mental clarity. Like, you are having a lot of mental clarity. Weren't we just talking about breaking free? Like, weren't we just talking about breaking free? You are ushering in your balance. This is your fire energy. If you need a little bit more, we got another lion out here. Like, your fire energy. But it's you standing up for you. It's seeing through the bullshit. Like, it really is. For you, it is seeing through the bullshit. Coming in hot. Dude, we got the Fool card out here, and I want to ask you what you're discovering, because this Fool card here is paired with this Secret, and I want to know what you're discovering. I'm sorry, just give me a second. I'm just listening. There's like this inner happiness. How many freaking chariots are we going to have out for you? I split it on the Chariot and the Death card, which is all about transformation, all about rebirth. But there's just something about this happiness state for you. Like, I want to tell you you're in, like, your receiving era. Like, I want to tell you that, like, where some people are getting, like, 20 years of karma in a bad way, I feel like your 20 years of karma is a good thing. Like, that's the way that I want to say it, and I don't know what sign you are, if that even applies for you, but it just really makes me feel like all your hard work is paying off. Like, that's the way I want to say it. And I feel like you're no longer being cocky. I don't know if you were a cocky person or somebody who maybe wanted to share with everybody when things were going well. It's like you're no longer being that person. You're no longer finding the need for, like, outside validation is the way that I want to say it. Like, I feel as though you're having to reevaluate yourself and literally how you move in every way, shape, or form. I do feel like you have something coming in, though, which is really odd. And I don't, we're going to find out what it is. But there's something paired with your growth here where, like, you have something actively coming in. Magic and Destiny card out on the table. Like, shut up. Pair with the Lovers card and the Weaver. Dude, and I'm going to tell you right now, this Guardian card, this 55, is taking me to 10, which is taking me to my know better, do better. But 10 is also 1, which is my begin again. And when we pair this with this 3, which is a 12, which is the love card, it's really, really pulling me to the coming together of two things to create a third. And I don't mean like a physical baby. I just mean like starting of something new and ushering of something new. And I feel like whatever pairing this is, it's built into your destiny. Like, it's built into your purpose. This is a meaningful connection is the way that I want to say it. And I got this Weaver card out here, and I don't feel like it's going to fall in your lap. Like, I do not feel like it's going to fall in your lap. I feel as though you're weaving it into your story. You are weaving it into your reality. I feel as though you are the reason that it is approaching you the way it is. There's something about the way that you use your magic and the way that you manifest or make things a reality is the way that I want to say it. The way that you manifest or make things a reality. They're talking about how you've had to release a lot to get a lot. That's the way that I want to say it. You had to release a lot to get a lot. And this is where this new beginning comes. This is where this Fool comes in. You had to release a lot to get a lot. Dude. I feel like as though you literally had to struggle first. Like, you were one of those people who it didn't just come easy. Like, you had to struggle first. And I feel like you're either just bridging out of your struggle or you have successfully bridged out of it. You're either like ending it or you're just bridged out of it. Because you got big things coming your way in a lot of different ways. Like, in a lot of different ways. But I just feel like your confidence is at an all-time high. Weren't we just saying it's divinely guided? Like, seriously? Weren't we just saying you worked hard for it? You got your persistence card out here. This is like all good things, and we don't normally get like all good messages on here. Usually they're like biting people, like, you know, roasting people. So the fact that your team's just high-fiving you is crazy. They're talking about an ask. Do you have an ask or like something that's kind of like a secret want or like maybe a pipe dream or something like that? Because they're asking you to start acting and asking for it. There's just some kind of creating that you have the ability to do right now that they're kind of pulling me into that feeling like you need to like put it into action. My God, how many strength cards are you gonna get out here, dude? Holy poop. Do you feel as though you're aligned? Do you feel as though you're aligned? And the reason that I'm asking you that is literally because I feel like with this type of an energy on the table, you have to be aligned in some way. Like, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just momentarily and then unaligned and you become realigned again, there's just something that is like, it is perfectly falling in line for you. Like, it is aligned for you. And I feel like this is something that you've overcome. So I don't know what you just like finished a cycle out on. I don't know what, you know, what good karma you put out that you're receiving right now, but holy poop, like, this is your whole new rebirth. Like, you're redefining yourself from the inside out, and your team is pretty much like, watch it trickle into your reality. Like, that's the way they're saying it. You have so much completion out here. 9 of Cups, 9 of Wands, and they're pulling me back to the balance of water, fire, like emotions and your passions, like the creation energy, knowing how much fire before you burn something down to destruction. Like, you have so much 3s coming together, mind, body, spirit. You have so much persistence, so much, you know, opportunity, you know, harnessing your magic, taking back your role. Like, they're just commending you. The amount of fulfillment, the amount of completions out on this table is wild. I feel the need just to tell you to ride it out. Like, I feel the need to tell you to ride it out. Like, 1,000%. Like, you just need to ride this wave. Like, don't get in your own way. Just ride the wave. Don't get in your own way. Don't cause a problem where there ain't none. Like, ride this wave. And there's something about you that, like, you're learning to harness your power, and you're learning to be okay being you, and that's a really important thing. But they're almost telling you, like, you could turn it up a notch. Like, that's the way that your team's saying it. Like, you could, like, up a notch or two if you really wanted to. There's something about, like, your confidence and your fire that is just, like... And I feel, I'm gonna be honest, I feel as though, because you're doing so much connection inside yourself, specifically your masculine and your feminine energies, they keep alluding to the connection outside yourself, and they keep throwing out this king here. They keep throwing out this King of Pentacles. They keep throwing out this Emperor, and it's striking me as this very stable, this very grounded person who literally has their shit together. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. And I'm getting a lot of cups in the form of knights, in a form of, like, forward, like, passionate energy. And I feel like you might see this coming. Like, that's the way that I want to say this. Like, I feel like you might see this coming. You might have an inkling that something's headed your way, but you almost don't want to play into it too much. And I feel like there's, like, this little bit of, like, I don't want to call it a seed of doubt. But there's almost, like, this little bit of something in the background that you're like, but I don't want to, put an expectation on it. I don't want to put a timeline on it. I don't want to hope and then it not happen. Like, there's almost like this little bit of doubt, and they're telling you to let that go. They want you to let it go, and they want you to find peace within inside yourself about if it comes, you're ready. And just the knowing that if and when it comes, you're ready. And they're kind of more harping on the when rather than the if. Like, they're harping on the when more than the if it comes into your reality, because they're showing me water and they're showing me a ripple. As I split the deck on the Lovers and the Death card. Like, literally the end of something, the beginning of something. Like, I really just feel, and I have Death out here, down here as well, in another deck too. Like, in my little pocket deck. Like, this is wild. This is wild for you, dude. I don't know if I've ever read for you, but this is wild. Ace of Cups, brand new emotional beginning with the King of Cups out here. Like, if you were here, I would just give you a hug. I'm getting goosebumps. If you were here, I would just give you a hug, because you're moving out of defeat. You are moving away from hurting yourself. You're moving away from accepting less than you deserve. You know your worth. You found your power. I'm getting so much goosebumps. Like, I'm physically cold. Like, you are moving past all of this. This is wild. Look at you. No longer stabbing yourself. This is how you sit now. You sit now in sophistication. You sit now in knowledge. You sit now in wealth. You sit now in power. You sit now connected. Here's that 3 again. If you start looking up here, the 3 moons. There's that 3 again. You are balanced right now. But that also means you're in your creation energy. So what do you want to create? Let's use that fire. What do you want to create? Balance on the bottom of the deck. You're in balance with your pentacles. Like, you can't even. Star. Like, this just doesn't stop. I don't pull cards like this. Like, 8 of Wands, fast forward movement. Like, this just doesn't stop, dude. This is wild. But they're just talking about how this is everything you've prayed for and more. Like, that's the way they're saying it. This is everything you've prayed for and more. And they just want you to get out of your way and to stay out of your way to receive. Because I'm going to tell you, like, they just, I don't know what you've been giving out. I don't know if you've been giving abundance and now you're receiving abundance. Like, I don't know what is going on, dude, but you got some holy hella angels on your side. That's the way that I want to say it. You have a team who is like, let's go. Like, they're not holding you back. They're like, let's do this. Like, I'm on your side. I'm gonna howl behind you. Like, and that's what this feels like. It feels as though they're like, it's about damn time. Let's go. And they're on your side 1,000%. I don't know if circles or rings mean anything to you, and I don't mean wedding bands or anything like that. But there's just something, as I'm putting cards away, that makes me feel like I'm being pulled towards circles or rings, but not necessarily in the way of completion. I'm not sure if it's like that oneness connection. I'm not really sure what they're getting at, but I feel the need to mention circles or rings. I don't know if that's been like an odd like symbol for you or something like that, or not really sure why they're giving me that, but I'm gonna be real honest. This has been one of the happiest reads of the day. 1,000%. 1,000%. They want you to pat yourself on the back, though. They're kind of talking about how you don't pat yourself on the back enough. And they would like you to start clapping for yourself right now. Like, they really want you to clap for yourself right now. There's something about the fact that you don't clap for yourself enough. 2:02 on the clock. You don't clap for yourself enough. And we need to put that phase behind us. Have you been going through heart chakra activations? Have you been going through, I don't know if I want to say higher heart. No, I don't want to say higher heart. But have you been going through like heart chakra activations in the fact of, everything's been amplified for you? Everything's coming together, dude. Everything is coming together for you in the best way possible. Like, you had to tear it down to build it up. Like, you had to tear it down to build it up. Like, you are freeing yourself. Like, this is the timeline you want to be in. And I want to tell you that he's yours if you want him. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. But you're going to find him being you. New emotional beginning. You're going to find him being you. You're going to find yourself being you. And I feel like there's this part fast moving. Like, this to me is a fast moving, emotionally charged message full of like passion and caring and like all of that. But to me, it's like, it's just like you had to put down your swords and you had to be honest with yourself. You had to come to terms with a lot of things. This has not been an easy thing, and this has not been a fast turnaround for you. And I feel like they are like harping on the fact that this took time. Like, look at this. This took time. This struggle took time. Like 1,000%. And it's there's just something here that it's like, this was a long time coming. Weary roads walked in weathered woods. I have no idea what that means. I have zero idea what that means. Weary walks. I don't even know if I can say it again. Weary walks walked in weathered woods. I don't even know what that means. I have no idea. I don't even know if I can say it a second time. But they're talking about your long road, like your long road to get here. And they are telling you like you need to stop for a second and pause and like celebrate, because you don't need to do anything other than what you're doing right now. Is literally what they're saying. You don't need to do a single thing other than what you are doing right now. Shut up. So I just grabbed my lonely wanderer deck right after they were talking about woods. It's literally the plight of the wanderer. Like, it is the plight of the wanderer. Like, and it's literally the egg right here, which to me is like going back to like rebirth egg. Yeah, but it's going back to cosmic egg. It's going back to universal egg. And it's just like, this is your beginning. Like, this is your rebirth. And you had to walk by yourself. You had to go in. You had to go inward. You had to do all of the stuff for you and for nobody else. And you had to separate yourself in order to come back together. And there's just something about the way this card is put together that it looks like your weary woods walk, like this guy was just talking about, like your guide was just talking about. No, you did not. You're next, Miss Toni. Like this is exactly what they're talking about. Blessed reunion card. Stop. A blessed union card. And then the beneath opens up to you. Like, literally, this is like years in the making. And now it's time to share your light. Like, years in the making. And he's like, the masculine on your team, when I'm saying the masculine on your team is just talking about how you don't need to do anything different for this, whatever this masculine energy is to find you, you're going to find him being you. So no need to look over your shoulder, no need to look around the corner. They're just talking about how, like, you are, like, drawing this thing in, and you will find him when it's, like, I hate saying, like, when it's ready, because that's so, like, but, like, that's literally what they're kind of talking about here, and I don't know why, but I want to pull a sass card for you. I want to pull a sass card, and maybe this will be, like, the last thing they have to say, but I just want to pull this sass card for you. This requires no intuition on my part. We're just going to read the card, but we're going to shuffle it like tarot. And sometimes, a lot of times, they're pretty accurate. Oof. Oofa. We'll read them both. It says, maybe you just need to shake your booty. Life throws out very few problems that aren't more easily managed after you've danced it out a bit. Think you're a bad dancer? Stop that shit right now. Just stand up and give your groove thing a little jiggle. It's 98.5% scientifically proven to make yourself a little less serious. That's a nice little reminder to get up, get moving, have fun. And then it says, things get harder before you level up. Know that. You're working hard and making good life choices, and then out of nowhere a shitstorm starts and you can't figure out why. It's like a mountain climber's getting to the peak. It's steeper and the weather is worse up there. But if they were to give up or spend time crying about it and why it's so hard, nobody would ever get to the top of Everest. Most of us would rather chop off a hand than climb a snow-covered mountain, but it's still a great metaphor for making shit happen. So if you needed any other confirmations that you are legitimately on your, like, paved, destined pathway, you're on your highest, greatest good timeline, you're in receiver mode, getting everything you need right now, like, this is just confirmation for you. Like, I just feel like this is setting yourself in, like, a good position. I feel like this is just confirmation. I don't feel like this is anything you didn't already know. Like, I'm going to be 100% honest. They just want you to keep going. They don't want you to stop. They don't want you to be waiting for somebody, because it's literally as though you're not going to miss it. He's not going to miss you. There's no more barriers. There's no more hurdles. There's nothing stopping you. And that is the energy they want you to sit in. Nothing stops you. And this is literally what they're talking about, is that you've overcome every single thing that you've had to. Like, you've overcome so much to get here right now. Like, they're physically talking about years of weary wandering through woods. Whatever that saying was. I promise you I can't say it twice. Like, whatever that weird saying was. Like, you did years of it. And they're just talking about, and then it finally just clicked one day. And then it finally just clicked. And this is exactly where you're at right now. So they want you to, 1, enjoy the click. And then 2, they want you to keep going. Because this is the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is not all there is. There's plenty beyond it, is the way that they're saying it. Is the way that everything is getting kind of ushered out. Is that there's way more to it than you could have even imagined. And that's why they're telling you to not hold expectations. And if you have a wish that you have not ever uttered out loud, that's why they're telling you they want you to utter it out loud now. Like, they want you to say it now, and then set it, forget it. Like, not really forget it. You know what I mean? Like set it and then keep moving. But, dude, this is wild energy for you, dude. Like, I don't know if I've ever read for you before. I honestly can't remember. I don't think I have. I know I've seen you show all the love, and I know you've popped in my room, and I know I see you on the videos and commenting a lot, and, and I appreciate all of that, but this is wild. Like, you are literally in your receivership era. Like, wholeheartedly. This is, like, fantastic news. My team and most people's teams come up here to roast them. They don't really come up here to like give them high fives. And your team is literally clapping for you like all the way. Like all the way, dude. Like all the way. So I hope that this helps you in the biggest way, even if just to be a confirmation for all your success and for your team to show you like gratitude and happiness. Like they are super, super excited. They're excited that you got this far. I'm going to be honest. I don't think there was a point in time, I think there was a point in time where you didn't think you would get this far. Excuse me, transmutation. You got so much energy. Where you didn't think you would get this far, 2:12 on the clock. But you're here now. And now you're like, oh shit, wait, I'm here now and I didn't think I would get here. What's next? Like, what's after here? And that's where they're calling you the Weaver. And they're like, you can put whatever you want after here. Like, so they want you to start kind of pulling in those manifestations, those, I have no more obstacles to my greatest, highest good. Like, it's all coming my way kind of a thing. So I hope, Miss Lori, I hope that helps you. I'm going to scroll back through these comments and see what you wrote. If you guys have any, if you have any clarification questions, go ahead and drop it down. Very uplifting. Hey, Kalilia. Yes, I have a good life because I do the work I'm asked. Yes, I'm crying. Oh, don't cry. I mean, cry. Like, I'm not going to tell you to, you do you. But like, oh, wait, I scrolled too far. But it's touched me deeply. That's mine. Send it. Let's go. I agree. Thank you so much. It really made me feel connected. You're the best. Thank you. Oh, well, I'm so glad that it helped. Like, honestly, like, I'm just glad it helped. Gimme. I'm gonna find him. Gimme him. Dude, that's fantastic. No, never read. But I feel like a lot of these messages are for me. Oh, dude, I'm so glad that helped, dude. Thank you so much, Miss Lori. Like, thank you for waiting. Thank you for, all the support and all the energy. And I tell everybody, little ducky, I tell everybody that their reads are always posted on YouTube within 24 hours and they're time-stamped. So if anybody who has purchased a read would like to re-listen to their read, you can always do that. You can always do that. I have Miss Toni on the list. I'm going to check spaces and I'm going to do last call. I have Miss Toni on the list, but I'm going to be right back. So don't go nowhere. I did not know that. Very cool. Oh, yeah. No, I do it because I started in mediumship. And I always knew through like research and talking to people that sometimes people are really encapsulated in the moment and they only get the surface and they don't. So some people need to re-listen to things, hear it again, maybe come back to it. So when I decided to open this business and I brought keys in and now we're doing this stuff together, like I wanted that to be like a always kind of thing. So that way people can go back and, listen to it. And if they missed a part of the message or they don't remember a certain saying or something like that, like I just always wanted that to be readily available to people, Miss Toni, are you here, Miss Toni? Are you here, Miss Toni? If you're here, I just need to know what you would like felt into and or if you have any type of topic or something that you would like me to pull on for you. Here. We're doing last call, guys. So if you want on the list, go ahead and put it in now. Otherwise, Miss Toni will be the last one for this afternoon, and we'll be back on later. Relationship between Jake and I. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot pull in Jake's energy. So I can't tell you, like, what he's going to do. I can't do that. My team won't play in somebody's energy without permission. I can do a love relationship read for you if you would like. I can do, like, a what's in your highest, greatest good, and that kind of a stuff. And I can pull, like, is the relationship going to last? Are you guys, in your energy, what does it look like? What do you need to know about this relationship? What's the projected outcome for you, based on the current energies? but I can't tell you what he's going to do with his free will unless we call him up and he logs on and he gives me permission. Oh, have fun, little ducky. So if you would like me to do that, that's perfectly fine. Just let me know how you would like it to be reworded so that we're asking something that you want. You know what I mean? So I can do like a, what do you need to know? Like, what does Toni need to know? I can do a, you know, is this relationship in your highest, greatest good? What do you need to know about the relationship? Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. What do I need to know, and what will the outcome be, maybe? Okay. Okay. I always preface, anytime we look forward, I always tell people that, you know, we're looking forward in the current energy right now. Should you decide to make a decision or something like a choice, it has the potential to always shift an outcome. So I always tell people that because we do a lot of in the moment now reads, you know, but I don't mind pulling on it, you know what I mean? It's in your energy, so we can totally do that second part. But I'm going to divide them you know, I'm going to divide them right now. Like, what do you need to know about the relationship with Jake? With Jake. What do you need to know? And then we'll come back and we'll do the outcome question second. So that way, it's more of a clear direction. So what does Miss Toni need to know about the relationship with Jake? What does Miss Toni need to know about the relationship with Jake? What does Miss Toni... Are you like a very hopeful person? Are you somebody who is like one of those people, like, they can't tell me nothing kind of people? Once you have a feeling about something, like, that's just it? Because I feel like you kind of already know the answer. I feel like you already know the answer is the way that I want to say this. And I feel like you're just looking for confirmation on something that you're already feeling. Is the way that I'm saying it. Is the way that this feels. Before we even get into any of these cards. Oh, girl. I want to tell you you're seesawing. Because I feel like you're a hopeful person, and I feel as though sometimes you try to convince yourself that you're being naive. But I want to tell you that there's a definite connection between you and this Jake person. I want to tell you that there's some sort of cord here, there's some sort of tie, and I feel as though you can feel it. Now, I'm not going to put a label on what the tie is. That's for something else. But there's definitely something here. And I'm going to be honest, I feel as though you feel it coming, and I feel as though you feel it happening, and I feel like you don't know what it is, and that's kind of part of the part that's like irking you. It's like you kind of get an inkling of like something's happening, and it's happening in a positive direction, like things are going to turn around eventually, but then when it doesn't happen, it's almost like you kind of catch yourself in that rewind state of mind of being like, well, maybe I wasn't right. Well, maybe, this wasn't this. I feel the need to tell you, though, based on the cards out here, that like you do have something coming in a form of the relationship, in the way that I have this Knight of Wands, and to me this is like, to me it's this forward moving, fast moving kind of an energy, this almost confident kind of a style to it, and paired with the Lover's card, the Star, and your 10 of Pentacles, all out as a bridge, which is currently what you're working on and what you're moving through, and the fact that they have you as this very hopeful person, I feel as though paired with your passion and your vision for what you what you perceive things to be, I feel like it's going to work out fine. I really do. I just don't know if you're going to see it coming. We have the communication card like coming out here. We have the communication card coming out here. And we also have the Knight of Pentacles. And there's just something about like you need to accept what you're feeling. And I know that it's going to sound really, really, really weird. But like you really do need to accept what you're feeling. Because there's something here. There's something here that they're saying like you're almost putting the focus on the wrong place. Is what they're saying. Like you're almost putting the focus on him when you need to put the focus on you. Like that's the way that they're saying it. Because putting 222 on the clock, putting focus on you putting focus on him is causing you to be unbalanced. Is the way that they're saying it. Is causing you to be unbalanced. Oh my god. I feel they need to tell you that like you really need to circle back on your rejection wound. You really need to circle back on either your rejection or your abandonment wound. It's one or the other or both in some way, shape, or form, because there's some sort of pull that I'm getting to childhood self, and there's some sort of pull that I'm feeling to both of those wounds, and they're talking about the need to work on them. Like they're talking about the need to go back and kind of assess them and like dig them up and kind of really get to the core and the bottom of them so that you can be free from them, because somehow this type of a wound it plays into whatever situation you have going on with this masculine energy. Whatever situation you have going on with this masculine energy, as this Tower comes out here. I split the deck on the Lovers and the Queen of Cups, but it's in reverse, your Queen of Cups. And I'm going to be honest, I just feel like that's what they're kind of having you do. They want you to go back and have emotional stability, because they're talking about how you're a pretty grounded, stable person in the physical. Like, you're not a lunatic. I don't know who's saying that, but you're not a lunatic. So I don't know if at one point or another you maybe used the word crazy or something like that. Like, they're saying that's not you. You're actually pretty grounded. You're pretty structured. You're pretty mature is the way that they're kind of talking about it. But now they're talking about the need to balance out your emotions, your emotional body, and specifically your emotional brain. And I feel like this is where you get to kind of put in some movement and to get to undo some wounds. There's just something here about the coming together of not only the masculine and feminine with outside yourself, but with inside yourself. Like, they're really pulling me the need back to rejection and back to abandonment and back to those wounds is really the way they're pulling me. I feel as though, and this could be off base, but the energy kind of feels as though you're taking it harder than somebody else is. The energy feels as though you're the one who's taking it harder than maybe this masculine's taking either the separation or the break of this relationship or the stagnancy that you're currently feeling. And I want to say that you're aware of this. Like, I want to say that you're in the know, that you're the one who seems to be not okay. But I want to tell you that's an illusion. And I don't know why, but I want to tell you that's an illusion, because I feel as though they're telling you, like, you're placing your attention on the wrong areas, because he's still masking. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. Like, you're masking because you're placing attention outside of yourself. Yeah. But, like, there's just something here about this masculine who's masking. I got this King of Cups out here. I got this King of Cups card out here, and he's out here as a bridge, and it's just making me feel like a lot of things here, like there's a split. Like, he needs to balance his shit out, and he's not done that yet, and it makes me feel as though you are coming to terms with your emotions and balancing the two hemispheres. So we had the Queen of Cups in reverse, and we had the King of Cups as a bridge here, and then we got the Justice card. And even though this is typically outside balance, for some reason they're making me take it more as a Temperance card for you. Like, they're making me take it like as a Temperance card for you. And I feel like there was a lack of teamwork, is the way that I want to say it. Like, a lack of teamwork, a lack of working together. That was difficult to deal with, is the way that I want to say it. And difficult to deal with, and ultimately kind of led to this kind of separation in one way, shape, or form. But they're saying that it needed to happen. Like, that's the way that they're kind of saying it, is that it needed to happen. Like, you needed this to happen because this was something you needed to learn from. Like, now your options are open to you. Like, that's the way that they're saying it, is now your options are open to you. And they're just kind of talking about how you're kind of holding on to either him or something about this past relationship that they want you to release. Like, they want you to let go of it. And I don't know if it's paired with the abandonment rejection wound that they were hinting at before, that needs to be uncovered and dug up from your childhood. And maybe that might elicit a response as to why you feel to cling. But they're saying regardless, you need to release him. Like, you don't need to cord cut him. But they're just kind of talking about it's like time to release him, because if you release him and he comes back, then it's your choice. Like, it's your choice. But they're almost kind of talking to release him, because if you release him and he comes back, then it's your choice. Like, it's your choice. But they're almost kind of talking. Oh my god. Oh, that's so frustrating. It's okay. It'll be posted on YouTube. But they were just talking about how, I don't know where it froze at, but they were talking about how it's almost like you need to spend a staircase from the top, from the surface. It'll look like a circle. It'll look like a cycle. But then when you realize that once you break free and you take this time alone to focus on you, it's actually a spiral. You're still ascending upwards. And they were talking about how this rebirth during the separation is part of your journey. We got the journey card out here, but they're talking about, like, for you, it's almost like when it rains, it pours. And we got the completion card in the bottom. So the completion of this cycle, this pullback is coming. But they're talking about when it rains, it pours. Like you don't just have one thing. Like, you do it. You do all things all the way. Like that. Like, that's exactly what they're talking about. And they want you to redirect your focus from being on him and putting it on you, because they really want you. They really want you to let go. Like, they want you to let go to you. Like, let go of him. And not in the way that, like, he can't ever come back. But there's just something about releasing control that if he comes back, then you get to collect your abundance, which is weird. That's what they're saying. Like, they're using it more in the term of abundance. Like, you get then to make a decision where he does not have any control over your decision-making processes. That's the way it makes it feel. Like, there's still some bit of, like, holding on to. And I feel like that's part of this hope, but it's not just like hope. It's almost like a deeper-seated cling, and that's why I feel like they're kind of pulling back to this abandonment, this, like, this core wound from the childhood, and they want you to go back there because there's something from that time period that is having you feel things the way that you do. And it's not that when you heal this, you won't still care about him. That's not it. But you'll just see things slightly differently as to why you act the way you do at certain times, is the way that they're saying it. It's not going to eliminate all feelings for this person. Absolutely not. But it's going to give you more of an objective stance. Rather than a reaction stance, is the way they're kind of taking it, rather than a reactive kind of a movement. He moves, then I move, then he moves, then I move. Like, it's going to be different. Then you're going to have the, like, understanding. Yeah, you're going to have the understanding to do something different. So you can move regardless if he moves his piece. And it's more putting you back in control of everything. Good Lord. Learn to shuffle. And I feel like that's what this is. Like, this is what the separation is to do. It's to gain your own, like, like literally to gain your own control over your emotions and to gain your own control over everything in life. And I feel like this is your fool paired with your wheel. Like this is you starting completely again, you know? Like, and it's just part of this kind of journey for you. As we're talking about letting go, we got the 4 here. We got the 4 cups. Like, it's just they want you to shift. They want you to shift your focus. 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands. Yep. They want you to shift your focus from him to you, because this is part of your like growth period. This is part of your rebirth. This is part of your journey. Like this little time that you guys are doing you, like they want you to go back inward. You had a second question. And I'm going to put these away, and then I'm going to go look and see at all your comments and see what that second question was from earlier, and we'll kind of hit that. But if you need anything else clarified in the meantime, go ahead and comment. I'm going to read all your comments in a second, and we'll go on with question number 2, and then I'll come back for your clarification question for sure. Okay. Yes, just what you said. Perfect. What do I need to know? Okay. No, what will the outcome be? Okay, so what will the outcome be? But that's how I feel. Yes, because he is so inconsistent and it makes me spiral. Oh. Welcome in, Titan Rising. Yes, I gave and put in more. I almost feel like maybe I'm a lesson for him or something. But that's the difference. See, so that's what they're talking about though. So, if we're, like, we can't be a lesson for somebody else without being a lesson for ourselves. In some way, shape, or form. And that's what they're talking about. You're concerned about his lessons and what he has to do and what he's working on, and they want you to flip it. Because you guys are connected in some way. You guys share a cord. Now, whether it be karmic, whether it be soulmate, whether it be whatever, is up to you to discern. But, like, you guys share a cord. So there's a shared mirroring. There's a shared, back and forth that is purposeful. So that means if you can recognize outside of yourself that you might be there to teach him a lesson, you also might be there to learn some. So they want you to kind of swap your focus from being like swap your focus from being him, you know what I mean? And on you, because they want you to bridge. They want you to bridge out of this. And the amount of times that in the beginning it showed a masculine king of fire, King of Wands, whatever, King of Fire, coming back with an emotional message, like fiery, passionate, charged message, just makes me feel like he's not doing the work either. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, it just makes me feel like he's not doing the work either. Like, he's back and forth. I want you, I don't want you, I want you, I don't, like, that's where your boundaries come in, because that's where your self-worth comes in, and that's why they're sending you all the way back, because this is here to teach you, like, what do you want to do? And they're talking about, this is what they were talking about you being like victim to his cycle. Because it's also partly your cycle because you guys are connected. But once you break the cycle, it doesn't have to be yours. My intuition says he's been controlling his whole life, and if I let him go, he'll know he can't control me. But that's the thing, you don't need anybody to control you other than you. So you don't need him to control you. That's alarming if he wants to control you. But that's part of that fire energy when not utilized properly is destruction. Is destructive forces. Destructive forces, as we have the tower out here. Like, destructive forces. Like, you wanted what was the outcome, didn't you? I think that's what we just said. What was the outcome? Breaking free. and a new fiery beginning. Breaking free and a new fiery beginning. Stop. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this is a learning moment for you. This is a learning moment for you. This is completely a learning moment for you, Miss Toni. And the reason I say that is because the first card out here, we had the Fool card out here, which is literally all about brand new beginnings. But it's your Hierophant paired with a Hangman for me. This is like new perspectives, seeing things from a new angle. And the fact that your Hangman's upside down is almost making me feel like you're not going to like it. Like, you're not necessarily going to like it, but it's the truth. And part of it is like breaking away from challenges. Part of it is like, is kind of having to accept the hard truths and learn the hard lessons, and that's kind of what you're doing, because you'd have to release the burdens of this Ten of Wands here. You'd have to release the burdens of this Ten of Wands in order to gain your Ace of Pentacles, which is your physical beginning. And I know a lot of people talk about Pentacles being money, but it's just physicality. It's like the like potential for like physical abundance. It's like the abundance in all physical forms, tangible things. It could be a job, it could be a love, it could be like, it doesn't matter. It's just physically, whereas opposed to other things could be other ways, like emotions, mental, whatever. Like, this is physical new beginnings once you release the burdens. And I'm gonna be honest, like, he might be the burden. Like, he could be the burden, because I think the way that this comes out and the way that it kind of feels is that this lesson is a difficult one, like, for you, because you have to let go. And like, we have literally the let go card. Like, you have to let go. Like, it is focusing on you right now and what you have to do and letting go. Like, this is the only way to victory. I have the victory card out here. Like, they want you by yourself. And I don't mean like you need to like cut them off and break. I'm just saying they want you to focus on yourself. They want you to focus on you. The Lover's in reverse and the Fool card as I split the deck. Like, this is something that like you already know. I feel like we're just doing a day of confirmations. Like it's time for you to balance out your bullshit. Like, that's the way it's coming in. It's time for you to balance out your bullshit, because the conflict and the bullshit that he sends you is bullshit. And you deserve better than bullshit. And that's where they want you to go back to your core. That's where this is the going back to childhood. That's where this is like, because clarity's coming in fast. We got a page out here, which is your childhood innocence. Like, it could also be a messenger, but like, he's gonna come in. Like, he's gonna come in guns blazing. And you're gonna feel stuck. Like, that's what I want to tell you. Like, he gonna come in guns blazing. Like, fast forward, mental, like, haha, swords with communication, paired with a page, which is a messenger, sitting in this emperor energy, and you're going to feel stuck. You're going to feel victim to the cycle when they're asking you to do the opposite. They're asking you to go inward and learn the lesson. They're asking you to see what you need to see, because they're talking about you need to unstuck yourself. Like, I literally have the devil card on the bottom. You need to unstuck yourself. Like, you can see it coming. Like, I want to tell you, you know the pattern. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. And that's why they're talking about cycles. Cycles are patterns. They're pattern behavior. And they're just talking about how you can see the pattern for what it is. So now that you know, what are you going to do with it? And there's this part of applying what you know about the pattern. Applying what you know about the pattern to better maneuver working with this person. Like, working around this person. Because the entire time, like, they're talking about how the entire time you're almost more concerned about his feelings and how he thinks and how he feels and what he wants, and not enough about what you want. Not enough about how you feel. Not enough about all these things. And I think that's why they had you out as a bridge on so many things, is because you're aware of what you feel and what you think, but you're also prioritizing it beneath other things. You're prioritizing it beneath the needs of others, somebody outside of yourself. conflict, fighting the need to release, fighting the physical release, clarity incoming. Like, your only goal is to release, and releasing doesn't have to look 2:42 on the clock if you wanted another sign. Like, releasing doesn't have to look like burning it down. It doesn't have to look like F you, I don't care. It's just the releasing yourself from the fact that he controls you. He doesn't have to control you. You don't have to move after he moves. You can move regardless of where his piece is on the board, regardless of his decisions and his choices, because they're talking about how this separation right now, or whatever you're in, if you're roommates, if you're dating, I don't know. But like, whatever you're in right now, like, it's you time, and they don't want you to keep looking over at what he's doing and where his ships are on Battleship and all this kind of stuff. Like, they want you to really just focus on you. Focus on you for victory. Break away from toxicity. Like, that is what you have going on. Do you have any clarification questions, or do you want anything, like, do you have anything said again? Do you want anything clarified of what we talked about? Because they just want you to stand up for you, and they do want you to address that one wound we talked about, or those two wounds that we talked about. But if you have, like, any other questions, or, like, you know what I mean, like, anything bridging or something like that, like, let's do it, you know what I mean? I don't mind answering it. You're my last one right now, so I just want to make sure that helps and it makes sense, and if it doesn't, I want to be able to clarify it. So I can feel uterine energies. Yes. However, I don't do it. I don't do it because I can get in trouble, because I'm not a medical professional, and because this is actually a business. Should somebody choose to take it on as medical advice and get hurt, so I don't do it. So the long and short of it is, yes, I can, no, I don't. But I appreciate you asking, and I wish you all the best in pregnancy and birth and all of that. Like, seriously, thank you. Toni, so don't have to cut him out, but need to stop letting his actions affect me. They're saying cake and eat it too. That's the first thing that your team just said. Cake and eat it too. They're saying you can try it. I'm going to be real honest. They're saying you can try it, but they're questioning if you're going to be able to do it. You know what I mean? You know, they're questioning if you're going to be able to do it. Because they're talking about your need to assert boundaries. And it's going to be harder because he is going to be right there, because the second you assert a boundary and the second you don't do what is expected or prescribed, they're talking about how he's going to come back, and it's going to be harder for you to sit where you sit with him present in your energy. So they're kind of talking about you separating your guys' energies for a little bit, and that's what that's what the release is finding peace in the separation. So no, you don't have to block fest him per se, but that doesn't mean you should be entertaining his energy, because that's not helpful to your growth if you're trying to be without his energy. You know what I mean? You're trying to learn your energy. So when you're learning your energy and what you want and working on you, a lot of times, you know, God, source, spirit, your team, whatever, will separate you, so that you can learn where your energy ends and somebody else begins. So if you're trying to figure out what's yours, what decisions you need to make, you know, what's in your highest, greatest good, you know, what you want, you don't need his influence. So I would tell you, unless he is like in dire straits and he really truthfully needs you emergency style, it doesn't feel like something you should be entertaining. And they're kind of talking about your need to actually cut him loose. Like, your need to actually release him, cut him loose, and then be able to, like, move forward. because they're talking about how you kind of enjoy his energy in one way, shape, or form for whatever reason because you haven't healed that part yet. So keeping him around could be a distraction and a hindrance to what you're actually trying to accomplish. Does that make sense? So they're saying if you're trying to keep him close, but then pretend like he doesn't bother you, it's actually not helping you. You have to separate, learn how things don't have to bother you. And then when he comes back around, realize how he no longer bothers you. Like, that's the road that they would rather have you do. And doesn't mean you have to, like, block him on all social media. And no, you could literally just not answer phone calls, not answer text messages. Only entertain things on your dime, on your control, on your when you want to. And setting up a boundary that's like, you're not allowed to blow up my phone when I don't answer. I am busy. I can't talk to you right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's setting these boundaries, but they're saying when you set the boundary, he will push back. So they're kind of saying, like, if you have him too close, you may falter in your boundaries because it'll be extremely hard to hold them. Like, that's what they're talking about. You know? But they do want the second part of that to happen for sure. The stop letting his actions affect you. They do want that to be accomplished. But that comes with security within self, and that's why they're telling you to go back. Because there's a part of your trust wound, there's a part of your abandonment wound, there's a part of your core wounds that they want you to readdress. Yep. Hurry up, release. Like, that's literally what it like. Hurry up and release. Like, release your pain. Release, like they want you to, like, rip it off like a Band-Aid. Because it's going to be harder than like a slow, like, bleed out. You know? And you don't have to do it in a bad way. It's just not, like we said, it's just not entertaining him when you know he's in the middle of a pattern, when you know he's just reaching out to serve his own needs, or he's just reaching out to, you know, see what you have going on, but he's really no good intention behind it. Like, that's a distraction for you and your energy, and then he's pulling on you and your energy when you're trying to do something different. But then it goes both ways, so you have to hold yourself accountable, right? So then if you're going to have that boundary, you then can't do the same thing back to him. You can't text him because you're bored. You can't. No, you have to have that boundary. And that's where they want you to separate the energies, because there's a part of that relationship that isn't healthy for you at the moment in your current state of healing, is what they're saying. No worries, Miss Toni. I'm glad that helped. I'm glad that helped. And if you don't have any other questions or anything else you need clarified, then we're golden. That's good. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that you're satisfied and you got the clarification you need. You know what I mean? So thank you, everybody, for your time, your space, your energy spent here tonight. Thank you for everyone who bought a read and who waited on the list today. It is much appreciated. Everything will be posted to YouTube. It'll be timestamped within 24 hours, so you'll be able to watch your read again should you choose. Our YouTube is in the link tree above. If you are not a member of our website, please go join. It's 100% free. It'll never cost you money. We have free articles on there. We call it a free tree of knowledge that touches every part of spirituality possible, and we add to it 3 times a week. There's over 120 articles of a lot of different stuff, from breathwork to elemental stuff to candle magic to gods, deities, to, just so much stuff. Energy, chakras, healing, ego. There's just all the things are on there, and anything has the potential to be a topic. Herbology, crystallology, cutting cords. There's just so much stuff on there. Road opener stuff. So check it out. We also have a handmade shop, and we do, thank you so much. We have a handmade shop, and we also have a bunch of other items as well. So feel free, 2:52 on the clock, to check it all out. It's www.childofbalance.com. We're also on Instagram, and we're trying so hard with Insta. It's completely different content that you can't find anywhere else. So please follow us on Instagram, also in the link tree. It's just ChildOfBalance369. And if you are following my page, but you're not following our business page on Tok, please go follow the business page too. We're trying to get that at 1,000. It is child_of_balance369. It's where we compile all the videos from all of the practitioners, me, Keys of Wisdom 369, and Miss Rooted Intentions, who does a lot of macrame. Thanks, Melissa, who does a lot of macrame. So feel free to follow that page too, because we want to get that at 1,000, where we can go live from there and have some fun as well. So thank you so much, guys, for all the likes, the loves, the shares, the conversations, like the love taps. Like, thank you so much. I will be on. I'm gonna shoot for 8:30 tonight, and Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna open the list again, and we're gonna do more reads. So thank you so much. I will see you guys later. Have a great evening. Much love.